You know that this plane disappeared and landed 37 years later, but the surprise is not here. The actual surprise was when the plane landed again. The plane took off from New York in 1955 with 57 passengers on board, and it was supposed to go to Florida to Miami. It was a common flight for everyone in the plane until something happened and changed their lives forever. Suddenly, the plane disappeared from the radars, and no one in the control room managed to contact the pilot. It was almost just like the plane has been stolen or crashed in the ocean. After that, the case been closed till the day 21 of May, 1992, when the air traffic controller located in Venezuela saw the plane landing in their airport. Then suddenly they get a call from the plane pilot screaming, "Where are we?" The pilot then gave them all the informations of the flight, and they realized that it was the plane that was supposed to land 37 years ago. But the strange thing is that no one of the passengers have aged.
And here we have a car from 1921 running without a plug. Now look at this old car. And it was pulling energy out of, they just said out of the environment. They couldn't quantify what, but they had the correct frequency, and this had a battery and some wiring, and it was running around without being plugged in. Memo to Tesla Motors, go and research this, get rid of your plug-ins. And this is one of my favorite, 1902, a farmer and engineer named Stubblefield with Tesla. He had something they called the Earth battery, or the Stubblefield battery, and it had rods going into the earth and some wiring, and it was picking up this magnetic flux field of the planet, and he was running his farm, and Tesla was there with him. 1902. So when I say 100 years, lost century, no.
I do not wish to talk about it myself, but I've been a victim of quite a bit of suppression. So has any other legitimate researcher in this area.
These cymatic plates show you sound in frequency and vibration visualized. You will find these beautiful cymatic patterns represented everywhere, but not just in nature, in the buildings of the old world. The past understood the technology of sound, the benefits of it with healing, the frequency and vibrations all too well. That is why the cathedrals represent them so clearly. These temples and cathedrals were places of sound healing. This is no coincidence from a people building these magnificent works with just supposed hammer and chisel. Cymatic architecture was at the backbone of all these old world structures, not just in the cathedrals, but the star forts as well. They understood how to tap into the natural frequency and vibrations and use them in so many benefits. They were one with this realm around us. To understand the true secrets of this realm, you must think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibrations. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Every one of the major music companies behind locked doors up in the executive offices, and it's placed on an altar, setting them in offices, and it's placed on an altar, setting them in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't wait to find a rock station somewhere and they sneak off just like getting a cigarette or a fix because it's addicting. That's why they can't give it up. The rest of the conversation was this. You can't cast a spell on a Christian, but you can get a Christian to cast a spell on themselves. If you give the permission for the spell to work, being a Christian won't block it. And rock music is not just a song. It is supernatural music, that which is carefully designed by their spirit guides or familiar spirits in the form of spells.
Aren't actually hiding. In 2015,
Walmart abruptly closed stores in California, Texas, Florida, and Tulsa, citing plumbing issues. Initially, no one paid much attention, but things began to get stranger with each passing day. You see, people found it odd that plumbing problems would be so severe that they would require 6 months to be resolved. And that wasn't all, as shortly thereafter, military personnel were seen entering and exiting the closed locations, building what appeared to be defenses around the empty shopping centers. One day, a woman managed to enter. She reported that when she entered the closed supermarket, she found a massive hole dug in the center of the store. It seemed very apparent that something was happening beneath the stores. Rumors circulated that these locations were being turned into FEMA concentration camps. But just recently, a Walmart employee from Pennsylvania made a terrifying discovery in his store that reveals the whole truth about this matter.
And 1 million pieces just fly apart.
In fact, using only 75 watts of energy, enough for a small light bulb, Hutchison made a 60-pound cannonball rise off the table. It would also fuse dissimilar materials, heat metal but not burn the wood it sat on, shatter metal as well as change its crystalline structure. This was something to write home about.
Beginning of 1980, experimenting with all the electromagnetics and electrostatic equipments I had at the time, I started to notice some very, very unusual effects, such as a room being filled up very quickly with multicolored lights, steel bars sitting on wood and not causing any fires, metal turning to jelly, things levitating and jumping off to the ceiling, or simply go up, hover, and then fall back down.
Dubbed by some as the poltergeist machine, there is no one machine, just a lot of old Army surplus gear, randomly tuned by John. No one knows how it works. John has apparently figured out the right combination of radio waves and electrical energy to create the effect. If it could be proven, its impact would be huge. You'd have to rewrite most of the science textbooks.
Revolutionize the planet. If you can build a zero-point energy reactor about the size of your microwave oven, put it in the back of your house somewhere, you run your house. You don't need to, you run all its electricity needs. You don't need to pull anything off the national grid. Well, if you put that into the third world, you're going to revolutionize the third world. That is as much a threat to some people as it is a benefit.
And as far as the Hutchison effect goes, I'm rather disturbed that the U.S. government and aerospace corporations has it. The concerns of it being used for an evil force by the military-industrial complex disturbs me quite a bit. I like to see it used for the helping of nature, because there's so much pollution going on with nature. Mankind tends to want to fight each other all the time with wars.
Oh, they're gonna go right over them, dude. They're down. They're down. Hey!
Strange, right? There are divers down there. They can't get out of there. And, well, it's strange enough, but it gets even stranger.
Dude, there's nobody in there. There's nobody on deck. There's nobody in the wheelhouse.
It's a ghost ship.
Oh my God. We have divers right there. They just ran them over.
Divers are safe. But even so, what the heck?
Those are our divers. Dive flags up.
When you're charging your phone, it is emitting electric fields. Lara is just holding up this part of the multimeter and the other part is grounded, so we can see actually her body voltage in relation to the earth. And if I put the phone very near to her, we have about 5 or 6 volts. If I put the charger out of the wall, it almost goes to 0.00. So you have two bad things. You have the charger that is emitting electric fields, and you have also radio frequencies. If I use this meter, and if I put the cell phone out of airplane mode, it has very high readings on the radio frequency. And if I put 4G on, it's even worse. So ideally, you should put and use your cell phone on airplane mode at night. Use an adapter connected with Ethernet to your router.
Everyone is coughing in New York City right now, including myself. And it's the worst because you're not even sick. It's just this dry cough with no mucus or anything. You could drink cough syrup, anything you want, but it's just this weird cough, and like literally everyone has it. Is this just New York City or any other city, any other country experiencing the same thing? I don't think it's COVID. Let me know what it is.
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, what, 14th? It's Friday, April 14, 2023. I'm in Oklahoma. Something is above my house, y'all. I can hear some sirens going off in the background. Crazy. Record this for a second, I'm going back inside.
Thank you, sir.
He's like, I just came for the Belgian chocolate. That's it. That's it.
I'm at work, and look at this car that's parked next to me. This is one of the strippers' car. Deadass. This is the stripper's car. Fucking roach infested. Look at this shit.
Hello, we've just come back to the funeral parlor. It's nice and quiet. We've just had a call now. We have 2 deceased on Christmas Day. There's 2 deceased, and I just walked past this wall and I pondered to read the reality of what happens after your funeral. After your funeral, 1 hour after your funeral, the crying subsides and your family goes home and starts to take care of your relatives' food and beverage while your body has gone into the soil. And then 2 hours later, there are those who call your house and make excuses for not being at your funeral, while the others at your house who are supposed to be paying respect to you are talking about politics and sports. 6 hours after your funeral, only your immediate family remains, and everyone else returns home and starts planning the next day. 1 day after your funeral, your organs dissolve, while the messages and calls from people who don't know you that you are dead continue to arrive on your mobile phone. So your mobile phone keeps going. 3 days after you are deceased, interviews are held with candidates to fill your vacant position at your workplace, while at that time your body begins to swell and foamy liquid comes out of your mouth and nose. So the decomposition of the body begins. 5 days later, not even a week later after your funeral, your daughter and son return to work and your body turns from green to red as your blood begins to rot your organs. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after your death, Your children will meet with a lawyer for property sharing and your nails and teeth begin to fall out. A year later, someone will say, and I hear this all the time, wow, is that all? It's like yesterday he died, unbelievable. And then 10 years later, a friend and sees and remembers you in an old photo. All that remains of your body are bones. It takes such a short time to completely forget your existence in this world. Now reconsider the people and events that you are obsessed with today. Do you think it's really worth it? Wow, how real this is, the reality of what happens after your funeral.
TikTok, y'all seen this? Hold on, let me pitch myself down to a little guy. Disney in the news, and they're saying that a 4-year-old girl came up missing. But wait till you hear how she came up missing according to the parents. Now this article right here says a 4-year-old girl went missing at Disneyland in Los Angeles as reported in a TikTok video, raising concerns and sparking a digital frenzy about the mysterious incident. Let me tell you. Now we don't have a picture of the family or the kid. This happened to a Latino family, so the whole situation was told in their language. But through all the interpreters on TikTok, this is what they're saying happened. So this family, who was a Latino descent, said they went into this bathroom and saw a trap door similar to this open up, and that their daughter was down in there. They said the door closed, and they went to run and report it to security guards. They thought they was crazy. They said that they need to dig up this place in the bathroom, and they try to get these people to open this floor up so they can find their daughter. The daughter is still missing. Now these people have to go see psychiatrists because they're sticking to their story that their baby went into a hole in the floor similar to this at Disneyland in Los Angeles. And it's all over TikTok right now. Excuse me. It's all over TikTok right now. And y'all need to go check it out for yourselves because this looks extremely convincing. And you see, this is a real thing. The floor is opened up and trap doors to a... Now look at that. That looks perfect in line and don't even look like a trap door.
The street light is spraying something right in front of my house. It is the only one spraying shit.
Yo, they're weapons.
This one is not. That one is not.
I just watched a thing on this 2 nights ago.
Just that one. And it stopped.
We're currently sitting in the alkaline hydrolysis room located in the Center of Health Sciences on the UCLA campus. I'm going to walk you through the process here real quick. So we bring the bodies down from the 7th floor and we place them onto this tray here. The tray, one person can easily handle the tray. The tray pulls out. We slide the body in, we wrap them in bioplastic. So the body is completely naked along with bioplastic. Then we slide the body into the machine here. And then, as you can see here, there's a spray bar that's right here that actually places water into the machine, and this is all done automatically. So what we're doing is we're actually taking the natural process of decomposition and we're speeding that up. And what happens is that it dissolves the body over the course of about a 3 to 4 hour time frame, and then the fluid goes over to the accumulation tank, and then the bone and any of the prosthetics that are left over are on the tray when we open up the unit. And if you look here, you can see we have a drawer that's absolutely full of prosthetics over the course of time. You can see everything from pacemakers to little tiny stents that you can see during this process. The other thing that makes us unique from flame cremation is all of the different polys that are here. These would all be burned up and this would create more CO2 gas. This is actually methyl methacrylate known as bone cement. And this also would never be seen in a crematory because it would be gone. You see hernia mesh here. And then you can also see all of the different teeth that we can take out afterwards. We allow our bone to dry just at room temperature so we don't create any of a bigger carbon footprint. It takes about 4 to 5 days for the bones to dry here, and then they're processed in a standard cremulator that every crematory has in the world. But we just place the bone into the bottom of here. You can see the larger femurs. Here I actually found a little suture in this person yet. So this allows us to make sure that all of the suture and all of the mercury and everything has been removed out of the person. Just place the cover on here like so. Ground up ash actually looks just like this when it's all done. So it's fine white, pure white calcium phosphate is what we're looking at.
Grind his bones to make your bread. You know the whole ogre trick.
This by far is the most environmentally friendly choice out of all the choices that are out there. And someday I just want everybody to know I'm going to donate my body to science so that I can end up this way also.
You are a slave. When you are born, you get a birth certificate. When a ship pulls up to its bay on water, it's called the birth canal. When they pull up, they get a certificate of manifest certifying all the products on the ship that bring into the country. When you are born in water, through the birth canal, you get a birth certificate, which is your certificate of manifest. This is because you are a product and this represents your cooperation. This is why when you die, you're called a corpse. So when you get a letter and your name is in full capital letters, that is not you. That is the cooperation that you represent and that is tied to you your whole life. When we were born into a copyrighted timeline, which is 2023, created by Pope Gregory in the 1500s, which he copyrighted. Therefore, on paper, we are born into a copyrighted timeline and he owns our bodies, which is our cooperations. You're a biological battery. This is why you get charged in a court. And when you get charged in a court, you go sit in a cell, a battery cell. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we literally are electricity. We are bought and sold on the New York Stock Exchange, and that's what your birth certificate number is. This is us at the very bottom, the debt slaves. Above us, you have the entertainment industries, the government, education. All of this is to keep us down here. There's so much more that goes into this.
Look! You need to get the boys! Did the kids come out to look?
Yeah, like how did that
Did you see it? Thought when it was over here it looked so crazy. It looked like it's on fire.
A sequence of 4 craft in a clear diamond formation for which there is a radar sequence that I alone have observed in the United States Congress. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb. Again, like I said, not of any human capability that I'm aware of. And when he approached, he said that his radar went down. He said that his FLIR system malfunctioned.
This description by a congressman of the ability of extraterrestrial spacecraft to control Earth technology, whether it's in craft or on land, is not unique. The first case I came across was in the very late 1970s when I brought a paper to Britain, a CIA paper, which had described an event over Tehran. In those days, it was the Imperial Iranian Air Force working in conjunction with the USA, and a report had been written up by a pilot of something that occurred to him when chasing a UFO. And I quote from it, from my book, UFOs and the extraterrestrial message, but these are the words from the CIA document. The visual size of the object was difficult to discern because of its intense brilliance. The light that it gave off was that of a flashing strobe lights arranged in a rectangular pattern and alternating blue, green, red, and orange in color. The sequence of the light was so fast that all the colors could be seen at once. The object and the pursuing F4 continued on a course to the south of Tehran when another brightly lighted object, estimated to be 1/2 to 1/3 the apparent size of the moon, came out of the original object. This second object headed straight toward the F4 at a very fast rate of speed. The pilot attempted to fire an AIM-9 missile at the object, but at that instant, his weapons control panel went off and he lost all communications. At this point, the pilot initiated a turn and negative G dive to get away. As he turned, the object fell in trail at what appeared to be about 3 to 4 nautical miles. As he continued in his turn away from the primary object, the second object went to the inside of his turn, then returned to the primary object for a perfect rejoin. Another object appeared to come out of the other side of the primary object, going straight down at a great rate of speed. The F4 crew had regained communications and the weapons control panel and watched the object approach the ground, anticipating a large explosion. The object appeared to come to rest gently on the Earth and cast a very bright light over an area of about 2 to 3 kilometers. Science fiction? No. A CIA document released under the Freedom of Information Act. I think an even better case than the one described by the congressman. Nothing new about it, showing their superior technology and their ability to control Earth technology, not in order to harm anyone, but to prevent them from trying to harm the extraterrestrial craft.
Into the skies, Marty, but I was afraid you wouldn't recognize me. I went to a rejuvenation clinic and got a whole natural overhaul. They took out some wrinkles, did a hair repair, change of blood, added a good 30 to 40 years to my life. They also replaced my spleen and colon. What do you think?
You look great, Doc.
Resentment, which has been to the benefit of the Republican Party. What do you do about that?
Well, that's also shifted, too. You know, the president said, Trump said he's going to take care of the forgotten man. He got elected and immediately forgot them. Look what Chickasaw County out here now. Basically a conservative area in the past.
So the whole Sleepy Joe wearing a mask thing didn't really have much of a motive in my mind until I recently saw that video where that dude with the Maui hat on comes out and says that Biden and Hillary were actually executed a few years back. So that kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? So they murked his ass out, and now we got Turkey Neck Joe over here walking around, you know? Makes you wonder.
Breaking news, there is a recycling plant in Tennessee that is burning right now. This thing is massive. These are a few of the images of how big this is. You see there's a really far away shot of it, but it's strange to me that here you have August 16th, a recycling center that was also on fire. Here's another one that was taking place on August 12th at a recycling yard. Here's another one that was taking place at a large recycling plant on August 11th. Another one on August 11th that was at a recycling center warehouse. Another one on August 9th at a metal scrap recycling facility. So is there something to all of these recycling places burning, or that this is just all a coincidence that a couple of weeks ago there was several that took place almost every single day, and now here we are with one taking place today? You tell me in the comments. Take care.
The most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people.
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
Do you think we're in danger of that happening now?
Not yet, but it is important to be aware of the potential risks and dangers associated with AI and robotics. We should take steps now to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly in order to avoid any negative consequences in the future.
You guys need to watch the intro to this Melanie Martinez concert. This might be one of the creepiest things I have ever seen, especially what she says at the end.
Hello, ladies. I know you can't see me, but I'm suddenly here. Want to know a secret? Look into the light and repeat after me. Our energy can't be destroyed. We find the light within our void. We've been here before, we can do it again. The evolution will never end. We are protected, we are immortal. And tonight, we start.
Is known to stand like a statue once being spotted. What do you think about this? It does look like there's snow kind of caked into fur once you look closely. Take a look again and let us know what you think.
As you can see, there is a lady right there. This lady claims she is a witch. Peru has been experiencing heavy monumental rainfall, and they just had a huge landslide here, okay? This is the top of the mountain. This lady states that she can stop the landslide with her powers. Let's watch this. And the landslide came down into the village. Y'all see that, y'all? Look at this, y'all. Man. Look at this, y'all. You see, Peru is literally built. The houses are built on mud. So when it rains like this, especially with this pole shift that's going on, y'all, look at this, y'all. Wow.
Canes. Remember everybody used to have a cane and they'd have like a really cool bronze cane? They were ground. I'm trying to figure out grounding in the winter. Just touch a tree. Yes. Perfect example. If you have to ground in the winter and it's cold by you, just take your hands and put them around the tree. Or you can just kind of lean up to it. You can put your head on it. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. You know, you can even touch a little bit of water. You can just put your hand. It might be a little cold, but your body will adjust. You know, that's the other thing. Cold is actually good for the body. Think about, you know, if you think about the season, the cold part of this is actually beneficial to our body, because if we're hot all the time, we're just burning through salt and we're burning through electric the entire time. So a little bit of cooling can actually be very beneficial. You can use walking sticks as well. Think of people's canes. Remember Remember everybody used to have a cane, and they'd have like a really cool bronze cane, and then they would go down with a piece of wood, and they would stick that into the earth? They were grounding themselves the entire time. But now, the new canes have rubber on the bottom. I wonder why they put rubber on that, because that blocks up that ability for that energy to go right into the earth and then go right back into the hand. So if you think about all these canes and all the things that they use, it's all plastic now and polymers. They're blocking up the life force energy. But wood doesn't conduct as much as, say, metal. So usually what they would do is they'd put, like, for example, copper on the top. You grab on that, that's the top of the cane. That would connect to wood. That would go into the earth. And then as the person would walk around, they were grounding with their cane.
Sorry, I just cashed my check. Now, this is my path every Monday. Now you see the sheriff, right? They know my path, they know my schedule, they know everywhere I go. So now their new thing is when I come here and cash my check, they're gonna be sitting at the fire station waiting. They were never ever there before. It seems like the more I expose these people, the closer they try to get to me. Now remember, I told y'all they keep a ambulance and a sheriff next to me, and they keep people around me to harass me.
Scared me. You definitely scared me. Check it out. Wait.
Like fucking.
Yes, y'all. Yes, this is ice. This is in Kazakhstan. This guy wakes up to his whole house just frozen. Look at this. Oh my goodness, y'all. His whole house is a snow cone factory. And look, even the animals again are affected by this. They are literally frozen in their tracks. They never told us what the pole shift would do. What is going on, y'all?
Pursue this matter.
So, what the... Forgive the sleight of hand, Sir Charles. In the pursuit of criminals, one learns their devices.
I say, Holmes, what is this mumbo-jumbo?
The handshake and the ring, Watson, are archaic rituals preserved by the 33rd degree members of the secret order of Freemasons.
We are not a secret order.
Your existence is no secret. Your rituals and membership are secrets you guard as closely as you may, which is why you removed the writing from the wall.
Let me in here.
All right.
For all the people on TikTok that don't believe us, we got a different bowl with some different water, just a little bit of water in there. Like, we're in a different room. Same thing. Same light. Look, now show the light. Watch. What the fuck is this? World. What the fuck? Is it something in our water? What is it?
Give us answers. Oh my god.
Sound Russian?
How could I sound anything, silly? I'm plastic. I don't even have a voice box. I had to borrow this one. Don't turn on the light.
Are you going to kill me?
No! I mean, yes, but not for a good long while yet. I don't want you to go to waste.
They say
A man was attacked by a bear. Hey, y'all know what that means, right? When he got attacked by that bear, I think that was his supper.
What the hell? What is that? That is so weird. Look at this. What the hell? There's like loads of them. What is that?
Strangest ways people have died. Eben Byers was a golf player who got addicted to radithor, a radioactive water. He drank radithor until his jaw fell off. And at age of 51, he died by radium poisoning in 1932. In 2022, a tree trimmer working in California died by falling into a wood chipper which was below him. The man identified as Jesus Contreras Benitez.
Talking Boys believes enough is enough with the anti-Trump movement. Man won the election, give him a chance.
And now you're going to run for president. Don't you think that's a really cool idea, you guys? To keep them honest. To keep them honest, Donald. Personally, I hope you win, because I can't wait for the the inauguration.
This will be the year the American people say enough is enough. This will finally be the year the American people say enough is enough. Enough is enough.
It was the American people saying enough is enough. They're fed up.
And say enough is enough.
This happened in Bowling Green, Kentucky, a town which, at the time, a man named Bruce Wilkerson was the mayor of. He owned a small house in the area that he was in the middle of renovating, but he would still stay there overnight in the weeks the house was being worked on. It was the middle of the night on April 22nd, 2020, when Bruce was woken up to loud noises coming from the house's basement. As he was coming to, he also recalled smelling cigarette smoke. Now, the basement was more of a cellar, and then you had to go outside to actually get to it. Bruce went outside and walked up to its entrance. Right away, he noticed blood smeared across the basement door. Not a lot, but enough to raise concern. He opened the door and walked inside. There, he found a backpack filled with women's clothing and other various items. Bruce immediately called the Bowling Green Police Department, a department which he had previously worked for as a police officer. He asked them if there were any reports of a missing woman, but he was told that there were none, so he closed the basement door and went back upstairs. Only moments after he got back inside, the house suddenly lost power. This prompted him to again go back out to the basement. This time he noticed the basement door was open. He once again searched inside, and now found a woman who looked to be in her 20s. She was disheveled and covered in dirt. The woman told Bruce one thing, that she was hiding from someone. Bruce offered to call the police, but to that she immediately left the basement and ran away. Nothing had been stolen, so he wasn't interested in her arrest, but he still ended up calling the police. Police searched the surrounding area. However, they never found the woman. It's still unknown how long she had been staying there. Her identity is also still unknown, and with no relevant missing person cases, it's likely this won't change anytime soon. She hasn't been seen ever since.
This history teacher manipulated his students and created a high school loyal army. In 1967, a California history teacher, Ron Jones, wanted to explain his class how the German population could have accepted the actions of the Nazi regime. Jones conducted a series of exercises in his classroom emphasizing discipline and community. This was intended to model certain characteristics of the Nazi movement. The students grew loyal to Jones and began recruiting hundreds of different students from other schools. They even had a security division consisting of high schoolers with personal bodyguards to protect Jones in the school. Jones would begin to feel that the experiment had spiraled out of control, so he told the students to rally for a special announcement where the movement would go nationwide. The day of the rally, he would disappoint him with the truth that this was nothing but an experiment, as he showed him a short film of Nazi Germany. This man captured actual footage of what I can only describe as a demon. On April of 2021, a man named Cody was alone in his house when strange things began to happen. Cody noticed the bathroom lights started to flicker and the sink was running. He turns the water off, and as he's leaving the bathroom, he begins to feel uneasy, like if there's something else in the house that does not want him there. As he's moving away from the bathroom, he hears something behind him. The bathroom door had closed on him, and this is where Cody was truly freaked out. So Cody decided he would step outside the house and call his girlfriend to let her know what's been happening. She tells him to stay outside, but he insists on recording the event. When he goes back inside, he finds his kitchen in total disarray. Here's where things truly get horrifying.
Nope. After 2 hours, Cody finally musters up the courage to go back inside the house.
After inspecting every room, every closet, underneath every bed, Cody could not find anyone. So he thought. After closely inspecting his footage, he found something in his daughter's room that had been watching him.
My heart just dropped. I could feel my face, all the blood in my face ran. I mean, it scared me. It just looked like somebody watching me.
Most Terrifying Paranormal Footage Part 16. This footage was reportedly taken from a hospital after the patient had passed away.
Customers can surveil someone through their phones, through their certainly through their television sets.
The last year and a half, he's been systematically followed by a group of people.
Does the FBI use drones for surveillance on U.S. soil? Yes.
New Associated Press investigation shows that the Bureau has its own little Air Force with scores of planes flying over American cities, recording video and tracking cell phone conversations.
He has a man outside of his house in a hood, like basically like a hood. It looks,
well, this almost sounds like gang stalking or something. Have you heard of that?
Now, she looks down at her phone. She has the notification. It's a fellow gang stalker in the area. She looks for them. She's looking, she spots them. She laughs. It's funny because she has the mark in the car. And the mark is clueless. I'm the mark, look. That's how the gang stalker mass notification system.
Shock you. This is the original logo. The siren depicted is Melusine, and her mother cursed her and turned her into a siren. But wait, it gets crazier. Sirens are actually demonic marine spirits that would sing and lure sailors into shipwrecking their ships. Sailors would warn that if you heard a beautiful woman singing out at sea, turn the ship around immediately, even if it meant sailing back into a storm. Why in the world would a coffee company use a logo like this, which has nothing to do with coffee? Because the spirit realm is more real than the physical. If you believe that, subscribe now.
Okay, so I kind of want to expose some chemtrail truth here. As most of you know, we're selling the plane, so we're not getting paid out anymore. This plane has been certified to use the chemtrail fluid DK5812. And so it holds 50 gallons in each tank here, and then the fuel goes in this one. And then right in the exhaust, just right up here, there's a injector that sprays the fluid when you turn on the switch. And the switch, it won't spray fluid unless the engine's running because it's like real toxic chemicals. So it needs to make sure like you're in the air. We get paid about $10 a gallon to spray the stuff. And this has a government issued retrofit kit. And you can see down here, they installed this switch. As you can see, it says chemtrails. You just turn it on, and then you just collect money. That's how it works.
Money basically became worthless. You see, when banking was first introduced to society, it was quite a simple transaction. You would bring your gold to a bank, namely places like the House of Rothschild, and you would turn in your gold in exchange for promissory notes. These promissory notes were backed by the amount of gold you gave to the house or the bank. It was much easier to carry around pieces of paper than it was to carry around your gold for every transaction. As they continued to collect people's gold, places like the House of Rothschild, aka the bank, realized that they could issue promissory notes that extend far beyond the amount of gold that they actually had on hand. Meaning that the promissory notes they were giving people were technically worthless because they were actually backed by nothing. Fast forward to 1929, and we had the stock market crash. By 1933, the United States was basically bankrupt. So President Roosevelt passed something called the Emergency Banking Act, which was put together by Herbert Hoover's administration. By this point, central banks and the Federal Reserve had already consolidated all of the gold. The regular banks that the common people go to had no gold on hand. The Federal Reserve and the central banks are all privately owned organizations, therefore all of the real wealth had been consolidated into the hands of a few. The Emergency Banking Act allowed the Federal Reserve to issue unlimited amounts of currency to all of the banks, currency that is obviously not backed by any gold. 1 month after this, in April, President Roosevelt passed Executive Order 6102, which criminalized the possession of any monetary gold by any individual. Banks have been giving out and lending money that is not backed by any gold since then. Of course, the promissory notes, which today is known as cash, can still be used for the exchange of services and goods, but the reality is there's no actual wealth behind it. It has no fundamental backing. It's very similar to the crypto industry. Everybody knows what happened with FTX. When everybody tried to liquidate their funds at the same time, FTX came crashing down. Well, banks work the same exact way. As long as you have that number on your screen, you have a specific number on your app, then you feel like that's how much money you actually have in your account. And in the unlikely event that someone actually tries to close their account and withdraw all of their money, they can just take the money from other people's accounts and they can actually fulfill your request. But if every single person in this country walked into their bank tomorrow and everybody tried to close their accounts and withdraw all of their money, well, guess what? The entire banking system would come crashing down because they would not be able to fulfill anybody's requests because they don't actually have that money on hand and that money is not backed by anything. This is why it's called fiat currency, and we live in a fiat money system. If you don't believe me, next time you go to your bank, tell them you want to close your account and you want to withdraw all of your money in the gold that is supposedly backing it and see how far you get. The only thing that fundamentally backs our money today is society's belief that there's actual backing to our money. But in reality, there is none whatsoever.
Check out this new concept. This concept of conceiving kids. Now the mother will no longer have to carry the kid for 9 months. Now it can be raised in a bag. How convenient. Mothers will no longer have to sacrifice their time and, most importantly, their bodies. Does this sound like something you would be interested in? I would love to tell you this is a new concept, but if you know anything about human cloning, you would know they've been doing this for quite a long time. Only now is it finding its way to the consumers. What's your thoughts on this?
So, what you see in this video alarmed people in the city of Shenyang in China as this mysterious figure suddenly appeared in the daylight sky. A giant made out of light, seemingly looking at the whole city. Some people ask, is this a symbol of something bad coming? Next fam, in this video we will explore one of the most unpredictable places on Earth. A space so stunning yet frightening that not everyone dares to explore. So get ready as we show you the most mysterious things ever seen up in the skies. Like this mesmerizing video of a rainbow that looks like a disc. as if a glitch messed up with the skies and spilled all the colors onto the clouds. And as we talk about spilling, what could have possibly spilled in the next one? Were the gods in the skies at war, causing it to be bloody red? Or perhaps some people asked, are they sending a message about the end of the world? What is this similar phenomenon in San Francisco supposed to tell the world? Wow. Can you imagine being in the same car, seeing this outside your window? How could you explain this mysterious swirling in the night sky? Is it possibly a hypnotizing message for the extraterrestrial?
Let me just go ahead and stop you guys right there. Don't take it out the grave. A fucking 400-year-old vampire mother and son graveyard was found in Poland. They found the child buried with a padlock on his leg, and they found the mother buried with a sickle across her neck. What the fuck? Do not unearth these motherfucking things. Poland, cover these things back up. You don't want to go down that road. This was the shackle that was on the little boy's leg. The gender hasn't been determined, but it's definitely a little kid. The bones are missing, obviously. But that padlock was just wrapped around that kid's legs to stop it from rising from the grave. And here we...
Redditor who goes by the username Mr. Griff shared photographs of discovering a whole entire house inside of his attic. You heard me correctly. And the house up there is very much intact and complete with floor wallpaper, windows, light fixtures, and even a bathroom. Like it's actually an entire house. So you're probably wondering, what is this house doing in the other house's attic, and does the house in the attic have an attic of its own? Yes, the second house has an attic of its own, but the owner says it's very difficult to access. As for what the second house is doing there, you have to see the outside of the primary residence. You see where that blue awning ends? On top of that is the attic. And for a long time, the owner had never been to that part of the house. Because now let me show you the entrance to the attic. It's not a nice staircase or a pull-down attic ladder. It's actually just a hole in the ceiling that was sealed until he discovered a way up one day. He had to use a ladder or something to get up there. And imagine his surprise. It's a big surprise, you know? A whole other house he didn't know he had, and a whole collection of spiders to go with it. Yes, he commented on how many spiders he had up there, and all you need to know is that it was a lot. Now finally on to why this extra house is there to begin with. You might have just thought that this was some kind of accident, that they renovated the house and forgot to do the top floor or something. Or maybe you have darker thoughts and believe that someone was keeping their kidnapped side piece girlfriend up there. The actual history here is that this place used to be a two-story building, of which the bottom floor used to be a shop, and the top floor was where the store owners resided. But then at one point, this place was converted into a church. And when this place was a church, they decided to renovate everything but around the top floor. I don't quite get this because an extension was added to the house on the ground level. So why not just use the space upstairs instead? It's all very bizarre, and maybe the church was just hiding something there at that point. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? And I know some of you might comment that this could have been a disappointment room, but honestly, I don't think so.
What's up, y'all? So we back with some more creepy celebrity conspiracy theories, and these two obviously involve Post Malone and the Kardashian girls and curses. So let's get into it. All right, so the first curse we're going to talk about is the Kardashian curse. So back in the 1800s, the Kardashians had an ancestor named Kikil, and she was a 19-year-old mother who was abused as a child. So she ended up running away because a bunch of bad shit was happening to her in her life up until this point. So like I said, she runs away and she allegedly seeks refuge in this village named Shikaho. Y'all, I swear that's what the name of that village is, okay? That village in Armenia is known for like witches and shit, right? So Kikil ends up connecting with 4 of the witches in that village, and she tells them that she doesn't want any of her future generations to go through what she went through as a child. So she wants them to have beauty, fame, and fortune. And the witches granted that, but allegedly the catch was that they would never find true love, and they would always have bad luck when it comes to relationships, and any man who they dealt with would end up going downhill after they were done with him. Because to give to them, it has to be taken from somewhere, allegedly. Fast forward to now, the Kardashian curse is allegedly still going strong from how things have turned out for a lot of the guys they've been in relationships with.
All right, so the Post Malone curse conspiracy theory isn't really a conspiracy theory because he confirmed it. So he was on the show Ghost Hunters with his friend Zach, and they spent the night in Zach's museum in Vegas, which is like a supernatural type museum, kind of like the Conjuring people have in their house. So anyway, Zach touched a Dybbuk box, which was like a box that contained like evil spirits or whatever. While he was touching the box, Post Malone touched his shoulder. So as soon as he touched the box, they both seen like this black figure show up in the room, and they ran out. So then after that, Post Malone had a series of unfortunate events happen to him. So he was in the shower and he seen random bite marks on his arm. Then while he was on his private jet, 2 of the wheels blew out. Following that, he ended up getting into a car accident and one of his homes got broken into.
It's weird because after we opened up this creepy Dybbuk box, I got in a car accident. I got in almost had a plane wreck. My house got broken into, all that type of stuff. But it was just within a month's time. It was really, really odd stuff.
I'm sorry, but what the f is this? If you look at, you can literally Google it yourself, because I had to Google it myself to make sure that this was actually a real thing. But you know how we just had the fires in Maui? How the f did this book already get written and published? Also, notice the publication date, August 10th. Also, notice in the description how it says it chronicles the events from the 8th to the 11th. Bro, we got AI writing books already and then publishing them. Am I the only one that sees this needs to be shared and this needs to be made aware that we have people or AI already writing books about a natural disaster, publishing on a date, the 10th. That was what, 2 days, a day after the Maui fires even.
Directed energy weapons, freaking space lasers, man. They freaking exist. This is an advert I found on TikTok from a Chinese company selling these little domestic units. Imagine what a big, huge laser mounted on a satellite is going to be capable of. It's going to be huge and powerful. Blasting that laser beam down, setting towns on fire, setting cars on fire. This shit's nuts. The future is here. It's not a concern. Look at that. The tree branch just bloody fell off. And that's got a little laser, a little tripod mounted one. This shit's insane. It's pretty cool though. I kind of want one.
To the base of the neck, and all of your information, like where you're from, all your experiences, your emotion, who you know, are downloaded onto a DHF called Digital Human Frame. The DHF can then be transferred into one of our organically made sleeves of your choice, and you can basically have your conscious mind but in a different physical body. So our sleeves typically last 1 to 100 years. We do different facial features, different body structures, anything you like. The sleeve can do any physical function that you can do, like run, eat, sleep, breathe, burn, drown, anything you can think of, the sleeve can do. So before we go on to phase 2, where we talk about different modifications.
You can shift to any sleeve of your choice. Now we have some sample sleeves in the back, or you can choose the sleeve that you are in right now. Now we have modifications, enhancements of these sleeves if you'd like to, or you can choose from a 2018 Cadillac that Zycosect already produced sleeves. You have the option to choose between a man or woman sleeve. If you'd like to be a bit taller, a bit shorter, a bit darker, or a bit lighter, you can choose any ethnicity as you wish. Now, if your sleeve becomes damaged or too old for your liking, you can simply take your DHF, your consciousness, and shift it to another cornerable stack of another sleeve of your choice.
There's lots of
Kevin Gates said he was 3,000 years old and the offspring of a fallen angel?
This is gonna sound very, very crazy. I'm already like 3,000 years old right now. I just tell people I'm 33 because I don't age. Like 3,000. I know that's gonna sound weird, but I don't age. I'm immortal. There's nothing new under the sun. My mother had sex with an angel, was born an immortal, and didn't even know it. Hey, she powerful too.
Yeah, I did magic on my brother yesterday.
Talking about my beads, devil worshiping beads, cool, you hear me? But if you're a Christian, your Bible says you're supposed to love God, your neighbor as yourself, and your enemy. So if you're commanded to love me.
There's a Miami resident named Adrienne had what is now considered one of the best documented contact cases in history. At first, the sightings began occurring at some distance from his home, but it wasn't long before the craft began appearing over his backyard. This amazing video footage shows a glowing disc approximately 9 feet in diameter hovering just feet from his house. In a blink of an eye, the craft disappears. Once the footage is slowed down, we can clearly see the craft dematerialize frame by frame.
This is Christina's birthday party. And everyone at it, there's Brianna, her little cousin. There's Haley, her other cousin. And there's her daddy, Tommy. Hello. And here's her Aunt Misty. And here's her Uncle Joey. What up with it? What up with it? Alrighty, let's go, Wishes. Daddy lighting the candles.
So we can get you a little cake on camera so we can remember your party. And we'll give the happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chrissy. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Blow your candles out, girl.
She gonna blow it out? Yeah.
You gonna cut the cake out, Mama, or you want me to?
Go ahead, I'm running the camera.
Alrighty.
Daddy's cutting the cake.
Did you like the bicycle and stuff you got for your birthday?
Oh my God, Tommy, it's gonna start again. Oh my God, dang no.
It ain't gotta mess everything up.
He's gonna mess this up for everybody now.
Come on, sissy. Come on, baby, come on. I don't know what's gonna happen. Come on. It's ridiculous. Heck, I'm sorry, baby. Seems like it's messing everything up for a second.
It's okay, it'll be alright. God, we should have had this at Jerry's house.
Okay, it might not
It's
do
just,
anything else, okay?
this stuff is starting again.
I'm sorry, sweetie.
You okay?
I'm so sorry.
God damn! Oh God!
What the hell is going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room, girls. Go.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Let's get out of here. Come on. Let's go with it.
This is not a special effect, and China has just developed the most frightening war weapon that we are defenseless against. A physicist named Chu revealed in a shocking presentation that an invisibility cloak is now a reality, with experts saying that they intend to use it not only on people but also on weapons. With the next generation of combat aircrafts testing this technology, it can not only conceal any object and person behind it, but also hide a person from thermal cameras. With many high-security areas relying on heat sensors, this could pose a serious threat, enabling anyone to breach the nation's top security. At the presentation, Chu had 2 workers hold a panel in front of him, and when they turned the panel, Chu became totally invisible. With Chu uttering a chilling phrase, science fiction has become true. The panel uses light-bending technology to mask the person directly behind it, showing only the background, named Quantum Cell, that many are afraid of falling into the wrong hands and being used for evil purposes. And with no solution from the creators on how to counter this, it could be very dangerous.
Oh, it's blowing. Look at that. Oh my gosh. gonna be very secure for me. I know. There go our new planet. No, with all the time. That was crazy, Kyle.
Just recently, we found out 27,000 people come in, all young men, no wives, family, and children, all young men. What are they, building an army in our country? Other countries from South America, but countries from all over the Middle East are pouring into our country. A lot of bad things are going to happen. A lot of bad things. This is not good stuff. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So remember that when you're hearing these words. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, poor thing, poor thing, she cried. I'll take you in and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, cried the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, cried the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Now that is exactly what's happening to our country. Okay? Exactly. Right?
This boat. Two things swimming beside his boat at the same speed. This guy's going at least 30 miles an hour. They are going really fast.
On each side of the boat? What are those trails called? What's side swimming fast underneath that water?
You can kind of make out a human, like,
So there's
body.
something swimming really quick on both sides of his boat. He doesn't know what it is. And then this happens. Check this out.
I hear.
Are they sirens? Calling him out to his death. They're calling out to each other. Bro, get out of there.
energy. This guy, Maxwell Chikumbutsu from Zimbabwe, he created a generator that does not use any power source. So this generator creates free energy using frequencies from the atmosphere. This one generator can power 300 homes. These two scientist guys went out there to test it and they're like, yeah, it's legit. And they're like, how did you know how to build this? And he says when he sleeps, he gets revelations from God of how to create these things. He says, this is how he told me to make it. But this dude has a target on his back. So he's been in prison in Zimbabwe multiple times.
You're too smart.
He came to the US at one point and he was poisoned and almost died. And he cannot get any of his patents patented because if it defies physics, it cannot be patented.
Imagine if everything goes black in the world and that's the only type of energy source that we can holster.
Yeah, that's also a thing that AI couldn't affect.
Which is worse, this pack of Marlboro Reds or this French fries from McDonald's? I'm a board-certified MD, and you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. Acrolein is a toxic substance known to be in the gaseous form of cigarette smoke, also known to cause cancer by harming your DNA metabolic pathways. You're not going to believe that this package of French fries has more acrolein in it than this package of smokes. Acrolein is a toxic substance. You must avoid it. You should not be feeding your children or yourself McDonald's French fries. These French fries contain more than 100 cigarettes full of acrolein. Why am I telling you this? Because people need to know.
One is safe in 2024. They closed off the neighborhood because of low oxygen levels. Something big is changing our planet.
Tens of thousands of dead fish washed up on the Texas Gulf Coast this weekend. Officials say the fish suffocated because of low oxygen levels in the water.
Not only is this in the USA, the same exact thing is happening all over Japan. Many residents were seen collecting the fish to sell and eat, even though they were warned not to do so. This could lead to another outbreak.
At first it was Japan, and now Texas is going through it too. Wow. And I wasn't able to make out what those buckets were. Was anybody else able to make out what those things were? And now they are closing neighborhoods due to low oxygen levels. It's crazy because they told us about global warming, but they never told us what came with global warming. And the same thing that goes for a pole shift. But obviously we've done this before because a lot of us are not even worried, honestly. We just riding the waves, y'all. So we're going to continue riding the waves.
Apparently you can see UFOs with 3D glasses. You take the blue and the red, put them together and use as a filter for your phone. Check this video out.
You know those 3D glasses that are red on one side and blue on the other, and you get them in movie theaters? He cut them up so that the lenses were separate, and he stapled them together, and he taped it on top of his lens for his iPhone. And what that did, I'm not sure he understood how that was happening, what was going on, but he somehow knew to do that. I don't know how he knew to do that without knowing what he was doing, but he taped them on top of the lens. The red lets in infrared. The red and the blue together blocks out almost all visible light. And so the light that can get through is going to be the infrared stuff. There's not much ultraviolet light in the atmosphere, so it's really mostly infrared. And so what happens is the phone gears up its automatic gain control to try to get any light at all. But there is no visible light that's coming in because of the red and the blue together. So what he ends up getting is mostly the mostly the infrared. Mm-hmm. And he started taking videos with his iPhone with this makeshift thing of the Washington, D.C. area, and he started to get a whole bunch of UFOs. Interesting configurations, different shapes and everything. So the Washington, D.C. area was like filled with them. And these were things on demand, any 10-minute period that he would do it. He came to us with Excel spreadsheets, which had aeronautical data, all types of everything, the analysis of it, how you analyze distance, speed, size, everything. And then he came to us with recommendations for things he didn't even have. He said, what you need is a GH6 camera. He didn't even have one, but he knew we needed a GH6. And he knew that we needed to send it to a specific company called lifepixel.com, to have it converted. Now, there are other places that do conversion. What they do is they take the sensor, and the sensor of all cameras has a glass filter on top of it that blocks out infrared and ultraviolet because you don't want that in your images. However, that glass filter on top of the sensor has to be removed. Once you take the filter off of the sensor, you have to put another filter on top of the lens. He knew all about that. He didn't have any of that, but he knew all about that.
Weapon can be programmed for different wavelengths. There was something blue they didn't want to burn.
Blue car did not burn in flames. Same as the blue umbrella.
Operation Blue Roof and the FEMA Self-Help Program, while similar, use two different materials. Both programs help reduce further rain damage to homes and provide temporary protection for the roofs of residential structures damaged during severe weather. The sheeting for Operation Blue Roof are installed by a contractor, overseen by the Corps of Engineers according to certain specifications. The material is a rolled polyurethane sheeting with fiber reinforcement. It's 10 millimeters thick and measures 20 feet by 100 feet. It's used for major impacts to roofs. The sheeting is 100% waterproof. It is also tear resistant, UV resistant, and fire retardant.
So anybody want to tell me what the hell I'm looking at? Petrified being right here. Some type of animal. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Now these people see this shit and they know they came across something that's not normal. Some petrified type beings. Cause that ain't just rock. I don't give a damn what you say. That looking like a petrified old lady. That's what it looking like. This looking like a snake. Yep, a petrified snake. It's a lot of these all around the world. He done put his damn hand in the mouth. Weirdo. But I'm glad you did and got this picture, because now I can see this petrified being. Thanks, pal. Thank you, buddy. Not quite sure what this is, but it was something. I'm sure.
Finally, a real reflection of what our Earth actually looks like. We have both the known world and the extra land that has been unexplored by us, as well as ancient civilizations, which I noted in my previous video. A huge shout out to Sturgios, since he is the only reason we even have this map. Sturgios put a lot of work into this map. He even went down to the smallest minute detail. He has mapped out time zones, seasons, flight paths, and distances. The first true representation of our world in a map, and it is of the utmost importance, primarily due to the unknown landmasses over here. Sturgio's named them Terra Vista after a landmass of the same name. But why have we never heard of this island? At least I haven't. Have you? Anyways, Sturgio's presentation of our known world here marks the 5 prominent circles of latitude. We can see the Arctic Circle, the tropics, the equator, and the Antarctic Circle. And Sturgio's has mapped the sun's concentric journey around these circles of latitude, mapping seasons and time zones with the utmost precision and accuracy. It's crazy. Another huge shout out to Sturgio's because he definitely deserves it. So now that I've broken it down a little bit more and given you some additional longer footage to look at, is it getting easier for you to see the world map reflected onto the moon's surface? Or maybe some of you still think I'm crazy. But hey, opinions are like buttholes, everybody's gotta have one, right?
What are they hiding in Antarctica? In old maps, Antarctica is referred to as Terra Austras, which means land of the south. Nowhere does it show or mention ice. The most intriguing thing is that all maps show Antarctica connected to South America, meaning people could literally walk over to Antarctica. Yet scientists say that Antarctica was only connected 600 million years ago. Something just doesn't add up. In 1961, governments signed a treaty to say nobody can go to Antarctica. Recent speculation has created much debate over whether Antarctica was home to a lost ancient civilization before it became the icy continent we know today. Scientists have drilled down into the ice and found evidence that Antarctica was once a lush rainforest and have even found 1 million-year-old DNA. What else could be hidden underneath the ice?
What would be like if giants was still around? And this is something that I want you to understand. There was a time on Earth when giants and smaller-sized humans used to live as one. And because of the false history that we've been taught and religion, we've always viewed giants as savages or barbarians, when in reality, they was just as, if not more sophisticated than smaller-sized humans. And they came in all creeds and colors, not just Caucasian giants, but black giants too. Oh my diddy. Who remembers the Shield brothers from Texas? Every one of them was over 7 foot tall. I would love to be one of those brothers. And for the people who still don't believe that giants exist, this femur bone is still being displayed in a museum. And they say it belonged to a giant 14 to 16 feet tall. Oh my days. And for all the people wondering, why would they lie? Why would they remove this from history? Remember, knowledge is power. And he who holds the knowledge holds the power.
Just Eminem with the devil horns. He has it on there.
Okay.
He is satanic.
I mean, have you ever encountered?
I've seen him at parties.
Oh no!
But you can't get to him. You can't get to him though.
What do you mean?
I so many guards, tons of guards, bro.
Really?
We're talking about like 20.
Wow.
You just see like just a little person. He's tiny. He's tiny.
How tall is he? Would you say?
Well, he's short, man. These guys are huge. He's definitely part of all that satanic rituals. I know that. There's a whole ranking system with it.
Right.
You can't just get in right away. No, you can't.
It's
There's
like
the whole thing.
It's like the Freemasons. We're going
That's
back
exactly
to that.
what it is.
Because, you know, there's the 33-degree Mason. That's a top Mason that there
yeah,
is.
so he's big top rank.
Right.
He's been in it for years.
Yeah.
He's been part of the Illuminati for years.
Right. Well, that's terrifying.
I mean, because they frame them, they make them do stuff, and then they have it on camera, and they'll they'll exploit them and say, "Hey, you're either this or that."
They'll blackmail them.
They'll blackmail you.
Yeah.
You are looking at one of the strangest patents in the entire U.S. patent system. Patent number 2006-001425A1, Walking Through Walls Training System. This patent refers to a unique process, a training system that enables a human being to acquire sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of a dimension so that it may pass through solid objects. This is very real and was used by the U.S. Army at one point.
Absolute fuck idiot. Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. And they say Bigfoot isn't real?
Lady Morph's right through gate.
This just happened. The board stopped, but I kept going. I'm stuck here. By some force of nature.
So we're in a storm right now, and this car literally just drove up this. I don't even know what happened. I think
This guy is a wizard.
Yeah, you do it.
Hey, this is an AI robot. They all around.
Which took place on July 17, 2023. In that line, she says, the question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today, were to leave this interview and were to suggest or imply that when you said the laptop was real, that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that the laptop belonged to Hunter Biden, that the contents belonged to Hunter Biden, but that the contents had not been manipulated in some way, would they be representing what you said correct? Answer by Ms. Della. They would be representing what I said because I don't have much knowledge of that. They would be misrepresenting what I said because I don't have much knowledge of that. Because this committee likes to misrepresent or leave off complete sentences with what individual said. I'd like to introduce this individual guest. Thank you. And as to a comment by FBI, that's usually what
Jest za każdym błyskiem to mi się ten.
Indulge me, I'd like to read 2 pages from advice from the extraterrestrials. Yes, it's true that we have been in contact with your government and heads of power. It is also true that we've been It is also true that agreements have been made and kept secret from your people. It is also true that in the past, some of your people have lost their lives or have been badly hurt to protect the secret. Our hands had no part in this. We contacted your leaders because your planet is in grave trouble. Your leaders said the vast majority of your population wasn't ready for anything like us yet. So we made time agreements with your leaders as to when your people would be made aware of our presence. Your air, your water are contaminated. Your forests, jungles, trees, and plant life are dying. There are several breaks in your food chain. You have an overwhelming amount of nuclear and biological weapons, which include nuclear and biological contamination. Your planet is overpopulated. Warning, it is almost to the point of being too late, unless your people act. There are better ways of deriving energy and food needs without causing your planet any damage. Those in power are aware of this and have the capability of putting these methods into worldwide use. Those in power view it as a military and security threat. That upset me. You mean to tell me that the people in power have the ability to save and better the planet, and they aren't doing it? Amnesty. What do you mean? Complete amnesty to those in power, governments and leaders who have been suppressing the truth, that they can't be held liable for any past wrong deeds. It is the only way these leaders can come forward with the truth. It is necessary that you do this.
Really? Okay. I'm here in 1985, guys. I mean, come on. How much more do you want from me? Prince, guys, 1985.
All of a sudden, all these military trucks and police cars showed up at the hospital. They come in armed, and they got a bag. They got a thing in a black body bag. And he was like, what the hell's going on here? They're like, you're going to be taking some x-rays. And he's like, okay. And they had him inside, and they had armed guards on the outside, armed guards on the inside, military trucks running. Nobody comes, nobody goes. And he said, first time in in the history of my career, I took the x-rays and I couldn't even verify that they were good because they took them immediately. And then they said this event never happened. He said the stench in the hotel, in the hospital was overwhelming. And he goes through the different x-rays that he took, the abdomen, the head, the arms, the legs, the thorax, and it was incredible. In fact, Ubarajada Rodriguez, if you're listening to this, he's one of the leading researchers. He's gone quiet.
Watch what this guy had to say about the military hiding giants, the Nephilim, in military bases underground. Watch this.
Greg Renrich, that was one of the things that he told me. He's the one that was talking about seeing the giants in the deep underground military bases. He said that one of the first things that they had to do before he was allowed to go into S4 or S20 or any of the others, they made him sign an affidavit saying, you're not allowed to use the name Jesus Christ in these underground facilities, not even if you stub your toe or anything. And he said that he saw 10 to 25 foot tall giants in these underground bases and said that they were, the human scientists and other people working side by side with him. He said that they even came right out and said they were the Nephilim. They came right out and said it. Said that, basically we're preparing for an intergalactic war with God. And they believe that they're going to win. Where are they getting this? They're going to win from. And why are you not allowed to say the name Jesus in these underground facilities?
And watch this. Huge doors underground, and I believe it's like a military base or something. But what could they be hiding in there? I mean, what else, right? And well, we also know that the Bible said that the last days will be like the days of Noah, right? There were giants in the land, and people were living in sin and giving into marriage, doing their own thing until the door of the ark was shut. And one more thing, for those who last to the end, have you guys seen those videos or pictures of truck drivers saying they're delivering to creepy underground warehouses? What else could they be delivering? To whom? Perhaps to these giant Nephilim who need to eat?
I have a theory that the Mandela effect is used to see how much of history can be altered in front of our eyes. Here's a prime example of one of that. There's this woman on TikTok who was going crazy because she swore the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia logo. And to the point that even Fruit of the Loom themselves put a timeline of all their logos and it never had a cornucopia. And this woman went hard. Her therapist told her, yo, you need to chill out. You need to just drop this. So she went through all of her old clothing, and lo and behold, she found a shirt with the Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia logo on it. That shows me, like, yo, I think the Mandela effect is an operation that's running around right now to see how much of history can be altered right in front of our eyes without us noticing. And then they gaslight the public and be like, nope, this never happened. Damn, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, bro, people are thinking about it very little, like, oh, it's the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears or Jiffy or Jif's peanut butter. No, it's much larger than that, guys. They're using this to see, oh, if we can get people to forget certain primary things about their childhood, what can we do with history?
Fun! Are you having fun? Of course! And Eminem, are you having fun? Two of us are having fun!
explains why she passed on the Illuminati. Watch this.
What's the biggest opportunity you've received and passed on so far?
The Illuminati. I promise y'all, the Illuminati hit me up and they was like, yo, what's up? And I was like, pass. They was like, we got you. I was like, pass. That's like something that a lot of people probably would jump at. And I don't know how deep that stuff go, but yeah.
How was that asked? How was that opportunity presented?
You want to be down with this secret society? You want to be down with us? Basically, it was like, they mean business. They were like, they wanted me. They seen something, I don't know, but.
Like a person approaches you about this?
Yeah.
It's not something sent in a DM type of thing?
Nah.
Are there repercussions for turning it down?
I don't think so, nah. I'm a positive person. I attract positive things to me, so no.
And you chose not to join because?
I don't,
you passed
I don't want to be a part of something that I don't understand.
The head you see above me is a preserved actual head of Diogo Alves. This is the head of Portugal's first serial killer. He murdered 70 people in the 19th century. His head has been preserved for about 182 years now. And this head is still on display at University of Lisbon. His method of killing was pushing his victims off of an aqueduct. After he was captured and prosecuted, they decided they're going to slice his head off and preserve him. The reason for this, they wanted to study the mind of a serial killer. I'm just amazed at how well preserved this head is after almost 200 years. Because his head is still intact in this jar, they never really studied his brain or why he did the things he did. This head in the jar thing also became a widely known internet prank a couple of years ago. People would put pictures of themselves kind of like twirled up in a jar, and it would look like a head in a jar in a fridge. This story of Diogo Alves inspired all of that. I think the creepiest thing about this, though, is his eyes are still open as if he's looking right at us.
The worst deaths imaginable, and this one might be the worst one yet. Okay, so watch this jaw crusher machine absolutely destroy these rocks. But now imagine a human being being stuck in there. Well, that's what happened to this man, and I'm about to explain it all. So this man was working on one of the large jaw crushers, when suddenly the machine got jammed. The man then went into the machine trying to fix it while it was still running. And he is attempting to unjam it, and he must succeed because he gets sucked right into it. Then you see the big rock on your screen right now hit him in the back and pushes him down further into it. And you then see the man try and hold on to anything he could. And in the video, which you can find online, you see the man vibrating extremely fast. So this man is slowly being dragged into these metal jaws, and also being hit by all the boulders and rocks falling down on him. And then he is suddenly just gone, like he never existed. This is a machine that turns boulders into dust, so can you just imagine what it did to him? This man had to go through absolute hell because he was alive for a good portion of it. You can tell he was by just watching the video. This man literally got crushed from his toes up in a very slow fashion, all while being crushed and pushed by other boulders that are about to be crushed. There was no way he could have gotten out, and there was no reason for him to honestly be in there. I get that he was just trying to fix the machine, but why would you go into it when it's still on? I don't know, I feel like this whole thing could have been avoided, but in this situation, it wasn't. All you can hope for is that this man went into shock and really didn't feel anything. But I don't think that's the case. This was a very slow and painful death, and I think he felt every second of it. Please don't watch the video because it's absolutely disturbing and hard to watch. And I now have a fear of these jaw crusher machines. This is just completely awful, and I feel so bad for this man and his family.
I'm at the Denver airport with a new art installation in the center of the airport. We start off here with the world. At the South Pole there is a gate, and then around the world is sand. At the North Pole there's this pole that leads up to this arrow. The arrow points down to what it looks like perhaps a firmament, to a train station. I should also mention the world is depicted as flat over there. From the train station, from the arrow, we come down here. Perhaps a way to get in and out of the world as we know it. Again, surrounded by rocks and sand. Maybe this is where the lizard people live.
Did you know that the world population is declining? China's population is currently 1.4 billion, but by the year 2100, it's expected to be as low as 700 million, reducing nearly half of the population due to higher standards of living. And China is not the only country. Japan will go from a population of 125 million to 75 million. Italy will go from 60 million to 50 million, and Spain will go from 47 million to 33 million. Countries that can expect an increase in population are Egypt, which is predicted to double in size from 107 million to 205 million. India will slightly rise from 1.4 billion to 1.53 billion, and the United States will go from a population of 331 million to 443 million.
It blows my mind how nobody is talking about this. Watch this video of a man literally pouring lava onto a McDonald's burger and see what happens to it.
This guy pours hot molten copper at 1,984 degrees Fahrenheit over a McDonald's sandwich. At that temperature, the copper should slice right through the sandwich, like a hot knife through butter. But as you see, the bread doesn't disintegrate, the meat turns to rubber, and even the pickles and lettuce are left untouched. No wonder your stomach can't digest fast food. The food is engineered not to be digested, which causes it to sit in your intestine, which makes you gain weight and leads to diabetes and other gut-based abnormalities, leading to more disease. If you love yourself, if you love your children, stop feeding them this poison. If this is not reason enough to stop giving your kids McDonald's, then think of the disease that will come from fake foods, like diabetes, cancer, obesity, and many more. Share this video and tag your friends. We can save just one child today. It will be worth it.
I don't care what anybody says, that food is not real. If melted copper at over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit can't even phase a McBurger, what do you think is happening inside your intestines? And if you believe that that isn't real food, make sure to dominate the little plus button, or else Ronald McDonald's gonna get you. Let's get it!
Heard about the Dicenian goggles? God, that sounds fucked up. Some time ago, a miner discovered Dicenian ore, and for some odd reason or not, he decided to crush it up and mix it with glass, creating the Dicenian goggles. Reportedly, after wearing it for some time, he was able to see into higher levels of the electromagnetic spectrum, things people couldn't normally see, even being able to see auras around some people. But here's the weird thing. Fast forward to the Vietnam War, and soldiers are issued Dicenian night vision goggles in order to fight off the guerrilla warfare tactics. Very shortly after, Dicenian night vision goggles were banned, effective immediately. What? But why? Why would something so beneficial and advantageous to the United States arsenal be banned? Fucking gave me goosebumps when I heard this. Reports started to come back in, and the discoveries they made were absolutely horrifying, to say the least. Soldiers, those who were wearing the Dicenian night vision goggles for an extended period of time, reportedly began shooting at their very own helicopters. And when brought back and questioned as to why they would do such a horrible thing, all they could say was that they were being chased, haunted, and possessed by not one, but thousands of demons. Oh, shit! Coming from the sky.
becoming a sensation. UFO is seen in mid-air over South America. This looks a lot like the objects that were captured on October 16th by Camilo A. Herrera, who posted these photos and said that the UFO was seen in mid-air over South America on that day at 5 p.m. over Calamadarian. It remained static for about 40 minutes and then descended into a forest. Relatively large in size, captured with a 400 por minuto lens. It was too large to be any of the three usual suspects. The only one that fits is a large balloon. But what's odd is that it remained static for a long time and descended instead of rising further. I'd say it behaves like those three, but not exactly. Fernando Jimenez posted, "Not everything is a pillow balloon, you know." This one is very tantalizing, in my opinion. Looking at its morphology, a few other sightings come to mind. These ads were somewhat reminiscent. We have another incident in Colombia, a diamond disc-like object with a small sphere coming back not so long ago, as well as that one photo sighting in Crete.
The World Economic Forum has openly discussed monetizing all fresh water. All fresh water. That would include rainwater, river water, lake water. I know, this sounds crazy, but watch this, in their own words.
Overall, we today are in a completely new situation with regards to threats of water to human well-being and development, and now we need to put the economics of water not only in terms of monetary values but also in terms of governance, in terms of recognizing water as a commons that we now need to manage as a broad systems approach.
You hear that? The economics of fresh water, and who's in charge of that water?
It's a review on the economics of water, and we will be looking at the value of water and considering different novel economic policy measures, of which one may be, for example, putting some form of price on water in order to guide and give incentives, but not as a price to punish those who are poor, but rather to reward those that are stewards of fresh water for the common good.
A price on all the fresh water on Earth, basically, and someone or some organization to be in charge of it. Without fresh water, none of us can live. But you know what? It's not as scarce as you think. There's a thing called desalination, if I pronounce that right, where seawater can be turned into fresh water. This isn't a theory, it's already being done. So since it's possible to turn seawater into fresh water, that kind of ends their whole plan. I wonder why they didn't mention it. Shabadoo Brewskis, Shabadoo.
Finally figured out who built the Georgia Guidestones. Now, the Georgia Foot Guidestones were erected in 1980. These are 20-foot tall, 6 granite stones. Now, etched in these stones was 10 principles or guidelines humanity should rule over, and it was also translated in 6 different languages. These stones were constructed in Elberton, Georgia, and they were funded by a man named R.C. Christian. Now, the people in Elberton said the man admitted that Christian was a pseudo name, chosen because it represented his own beliefs and those of the organization that he planned and funded the project. Doing a little research, the people found out that Dr. Herbert Christian, who was a physician and architect who lived in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Herbert Kirsten also had a friend in Fort Dodge, Iowa, named Robert Merriman, the same publication company that put out Common Sense Renewed. Now, who wrote this? By Robert Christian. Oh, like R.C. Christian, the one who funded the Georgia Guidestones. Now, Kirsten is an archaic name for Christian, and Merriman's first name is Robert. Now, Now, Herbert Kirsten had a bibliography in the Iowa Library. He stated the #1 world health problem is population explosion. Kirsten believes controlling the population is the most important problem confronting humanity. The solution involves education and birth control in all countries. He said pharmaceutical firms are no longer coming out with new birth control drugs because they are afraid of lawsuits. A man who knew Herbert Kirsten, went to the same country club as him, and was in charge of the Iowa Library, said he was racist to his fingertips. He said Herbert Kirsten always bragged about being friends with William Shockley, who was the winner of a Nobel Prize in Physics. Now, William Shockley was also a eugenicist who had harsh theories about black racial inferiority. Herbert Kirsten also wrote to a Florida newspaper promoting David Duke's beliefs. He was also good friends with David Duke, Grand Wizard of the KKK. So now we know what Herbert Kirsten meant when he said, guide reproduction wisely. Luckily, in 2022, a brave soul mysteriously blew this shit up.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay. What's happening with the lights? Because I'm literally
The lights are.
and I can't see, like, I literally see nothing.
The lights are off right now. Oh, it just moved. It just moved. It just moved. It just moved.
I just heard a weird fucking noise. Please don't tell me that you said that.
Dude, it just moved.
This shit has never happened to me in my life. This is so fucking weird, bro. I'm just waiting for the cops to come right now, truthfully. This guy, oh man, where the fuck are the cops at? I called the cops like...
I know this sounds crazy. So basically the aliens go down and Klaus Schwab's dad go down and meet with Eisenhower. It's going to be like, we could either do it one way or the other way. We could do it nice or we can do it the wrong way. And that's where they say Eisenhower made a deal with these aliens that they could kidnap people and do experiments, but they couldn't just do it anywhere. They had specific places, which were our national forests. And
So,
this is where the missing 411 come from. It's all really weird because they all have a lot of similar characteristics. German-born, highly intelligent. They think this might be some time traveling.
With magical orbs and a coven of witches surrounding her while they all performed a spell for the audience to watch. After her show was finished, some fans were even reporting that they had no memory of the show. They were in a trance-like state for the performance and didn't even remember the songs she performed.
For Swifties, seeing Taylor Swift live is a dream come true. But for some of these diehard fans, they have no memory of their concert experience. It's being called Taylor amnesia. You heard that right. Some fans can't remember the concert they attended just moments earlier. That's what happened to 32-year-old Nicole Booz, who saw Taylor earlier this month in Philadelphia.
You spent almost $1,000 on a ticket, right? You can't remember anything?
It felt like so real. Afterwards, as we were leaving, I was like, did she play this song? I don't remember this song. I don't remember her doing that. And little things like that. But I do remember going to the concert.
People fail to understand that high society has indulged in witchcraft since the beginning of time. People have worshipped the fallen angels. God vanished them from heaven, so they created their kingdoms here on earth. I am not the only person who thinks Beyonce and other celebrities are witches, as this Hollywood witch called Satin Says straight up confirms Beyonce is a witch. During an interview with Tasha K, she revealed some interesting information. Satin admits herself to being a witch who works mostly for celebrity clients, from ball players to actors and artists, doing what she called root work for them.
You say you do root work.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so root work, break it down.
Okay, so basically people come to me if they want root work on anything. It could be money, it can be love, it can be a lawsuit payout, settlement, whatever the case may be.
You do consider yourself a celebrity root work advisor.
They all come to me. Plenty of them.
What?
Yes. I started with celebrity, and then I was posting my stuff, and that's how I started with the public. But it was celebrities only, because you need to have a check to come to me. So now I have things that the public can come to me for too.
Root work is a form of hoodoo magic that uses the basis of alchemy to perform spells. Satin will do spells for these celebrities to help win games or to provide supernatural luck or to get back at an enemy. She is essentially a witch for hire. Satin also revealed Summer Walker is a witch just like her.
So, do you consider yourself a witch?
Oh, I am a witch, but I don't think it's for everybody.
She's scared.
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Because they tell me Beyonce's a witch and we should be scared. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun.
Oh.
Riches and beauty, love, and all of that. Which I can see why she's connected to Oshun. But yeah, so it's another kind of tradition.
Okay.
Like a lot of people would think but it's really Ifa. So it's like a lifestyle as a religion.
Because I always wonder why y'all on them flowers and y'all not elaborate. I'm like, can nobody buy your clothes? Your clothes look different.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
She probably gives her, so she has her own art. She gives her food. She has parties for her. All of that. Just like Summer Walker.
As you heard for yourself, Satin straight up revealed that Beyonce and Summer Walker are both witches who practice a form of magic called Ifa that draws its power from the deity called Oshun.
Human experiments on the mentally disabled took place at the Vipholm Mental Hospital in Lund, Sweden during the 1940s and 50s. The study was designed to investigate the effects of consuming large amounts of sugar on dental health. Patients were fed a diet high in sugar, including a significant amount of sticky candy, in order to induce dental tooth decay. The patients were divided into different groups and given varying amounts of candy, with some groups receiving up to 24 pieces of candy per day. Critics of the study argued that the patients were not fully informed of the risks involved and that they may not have been able to provide informed consent, given that many were mentally ill or disabled. In addition, some argued that the study was unethical because the patients were intentionally subjected to harm. The experiments provided extensive knowledge about dental health and resulted in enough empirical data to link the intake of sugar to dental cavities. However, today they are considered to have violated the principles of medical ethics.
So much proof that we didn't go to the moon. It just keeps going on and on and on. Neil Armstrong, on the 25th anniversary, it was the first time he had spoken publicly since the initial press conference 25 years earlier after the alleged event. It appeared to me that he was holding back tears. There was one particular part of the speech when he said the following: perhaps someday you'll be able to remove one of truth's protective layers. Seems to me he was trying to say something there. About 1,000 miles above the Earth lays a lethal band of radiation called the Van Allen radiation belt. Well, this field of radiation is 25,000 miles thick.
No human being could survive going through that.
That is correct. He did not go through the Van Allen radiation belt.
Invasion, y'all. It's a fucking alien invasion, man. It was fun. It was nice knowing y'all.
What the fuck is that?
No, what's...
Run! Run!
Guys, wait!
Oh my fucking god, I swear to god, this thing just fucking looked at me. Oh my fucking...
People pick this up. So have a look. There is a subliminal message, which when it's pointed out is crystal clear in the picture you're seeing. And like I say, according to the research, about 5% of people see this. If you look, it's an S, and then you look at the same level between the two middle plants, you'll see an E, and then there's the X on the other side. And our subconscious mind is being programmed with messages and instructions and hypnotic implants all day, every day.
You might not want to sing the happy birthday song anymore. Have you ever wondered where the happy birthday song originated from, or why we sing it? Is it not strange that every time someone's birthday is being celebrated, candles are lit, lights are turned off, and everyone gets into a circle to chant, "Happy birthday to you," like a witch's ritual? Well, you see, it is very well documented that the past humans used to live hundreds of years old, and legend has it that the happy birthday song was actually created as a curse by fallen angels to hide a ritual that seals your fate to grow older, controlling the population and controlling the human civilization. So the next time a birthday celebration is coming up, remember that this is the reason.
Why do we see no wires on the pylons of the old world? Today our streets are filled with these pylons with wires, but the ancients seem to have no wires. In fact, they were harnessing free energy. Have you ever noticed the metal balls which are on all of the ancient buildings? You probably still have them now. These metal balls were filled with mercury, and on top of them was an antenna which was harnessing the electromagnetic energy. This energy was then sent to the mercury, and watch what happens with mercury. This would cause the mercury to spin and create free energy. The word cathedral comes from cathedral, anode and the cathode, because it's creating electricity. All of these buildings around the world all had the same antennas. This is because it was the great Tartarian Empire. Take a look for yourself.
Plato, which is the earliest surviving reference to Atlantis, puts it this way, that his ancestor Solon visited Egypt. That visit to Egypt was in 600 BC, and there Solon claimed to have been told by Egyptian priests about this great advanced civilization that once existed, but that angered the gods and was destroyed in an enormous flood. And Solon asked those Egyptian priests, when did this happen? And they said, 9,000 years ago. That's 11,600 years ago. And it's exactly the date of what is called Meltwater Pulse 1b, one of the biggest single rises overnight in sea level that ever occurred. So if Plato made it up, it's really weird that he picked a date that is precisely a date that coincides with the latest geological evidence.
Telling me nobody has put two and two together over the suspects in the Madeleine McCann disappearance. Suspect list. Look familiar. What about now? His father was a part of the Red Shoe Club along with Tony Podesta, ready to be shocked. Tony Podesta was also a suspect in the Madeleine McCann case. This is a suspect sketch from the actual Find Madeleine website.
Google Map it.
Listen closely. Of your life every year. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days exactly, plus 1 day that represents the renewal. I mean, girls' periods are every 28 days. The ocean tides are every 28 days. The moon's cycle is every 28 days. Why do you think it's called a month? Because the original name was derived from the moon cycle, which was called a moonth, every 28 days. And I'm sure you've heard of the idea that we live on the back of some cosmic turtle floating in outer space. And that's because turtles actually keep a calendar of this on their back. Most turtles have 13 sections in the middle with 28 days around the rim. The Native Americans figured it out and used the turtle as a calendar. The Bible even says in Job 12, 7-10, that all creation knows that God made them. But why has the world distorted God's perfect calendar? And where did the 13th month go? Well, what does sept mean? September. Sept is 7. October. Oct is 8. November. Novum. Nov is 9. December. Decem. December means 10. But I thought December was the 12th month. Well, let's think about the first month. What does April mean? April is where we get the word aprilis, or aprio in Latin, which means to appear or to open. Yeah, April is the first month. It means to open. May is actually named after a demon or a god, a Nephilim. June is named after Junus, a god as well. July was renamed after Julius Caesar. It was originally Quintilis, which means 4. And August was renamed after Augustus Caesar, but it was originally Quintilis, and which means 5. And Julius Caesar was originally the one who renamed the start of the whole calendar to confuse you. And the missing month, the thing y'all are missing, Sextilis. I know, it's weird, but it means 6. September is now 7. October is now 8. November is 9. December is 10. January is named after a god Janus. February is named after the god Februus. And March is named after another god or demon, Mars, the god of war who ends things. And what's that famous Shakespeare quote? Beware the Ides of March? Oh yeah. Here's Shakespeare manipulating our language again. The Ides of March was originally related to a timeline, meaning celebration. Celebration for the new year. So why'd they change it all? So our yearly calendar was supposed to start in April and end in March. And we were supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, which is 13 times 28 is 364, plus the 1 day, which represents renewal to make it 365. That day also represents resurrection. Now, what day did Jesus die? It's actually April 3rd that a lot of historians assume. But what do you want to bet the calendar has been shifted a few days? And it was probably closer to April 1st. Hence the name April Fool's Day. Because you're a fool for believing a calendar that makes absolutely no sense and not recognizing the day that Jesus died for humanity. That's why they call it April Fool's Day. And demons celebrate April Fool's Day because the world has forgotten the day that your Lord died for you. All of this calendar shifting, they did it so that you cannot honor God's feast and holidays. They did it to confuse you. I mean, God specifically says, keep my days. He says, keep the Sabbath. That's part of his commandment. God wants you to honor his holidays. And so that's why the calendar has been shifted. So you can't honor God's holidays, and you don't even know what days they are. And Romans 1:20 basically says, God made creation so that you are without excuse if you deny him. So don't be a fool. Recognize that Jesus died for you.
The number 33 holds a mysterious significance in our world. Jesus died at the age of 33, and there are 33 vertebrae in the human spine. But the significance doesn't end there. The Freemasons, a secretive society, have 33 degrees of initiation. Each level is said to reveal new and deeper secrets. And then there's the Illuminati, a shadowy group rumored to control governments and economies. They too attach great importance to the number 33. But what does it all mean? Why is this number so important? Some believe it represents spiritual enlightenment or ascension to a higher level of consciousness. Others believe it's a code or symbol for hidden knowledge and power. Whatever the truth may be, the number 33 continues to captivate and intrigue us. It's a reminder that there's much we don't know about our world, and that there may be forces at work beyond our understanding. Perhaps one day we'll unlock the secrets of this mysterious number, or perhaps not. But until then, we'll continue to ponder its significance and wonder what lies beyond.
The world is a lie. If you look around, you'll start to see the same designs and the same buildings in every city in the world. From Rome to America. Everywhere you look, the same designs, all throughout New York City, like we see here. And these are not just basic designs, these are extremely large, complex buildings, mostly with these antennas on top. This is the old San Francisco, of course this is Berlin. Everywhere in the world seems you'll find these unbelievable buildings. Now was man so skilled and man so developed in the early 1800s that this was no problem? I mean, just look at these buildings. They're extremely advanced, extremely complex, and they all share the same theme. And when you look at the people in the photos, they look very primitive. compared to the buildings. So then you ask the question, what happened? What happened to the people? So we can't build these anymore.
2, 1. That sounds...
Oh, wow.
What? Holy shit. Hey, you guys see the light on the bottom? Yeah. That's crazy, bro. Hey, look at it from my phone, bro. Look at it from my angle. I see that. Oh, no.
Prosthetics. They're my bones. They come out when I'm inspired. They've always been inside of me, but I have been waiting for the right time to reveal to the universe who I truly am, Lady Gaga. My placenta. My mum found in my basement, crushed up, and made into a necklace that I wear every day to improve my psychic abilities, Kasha. I used to have a folder called Demons that had pictures with all the screen caps in it. But then weird things started happening to me, so I deleted it. Ariana Grande. I love the smell of diapers. I even like when they're wet, and you smell them all warm like a baked good, Sarah.
Web scientists, hidden video.
You feeling okay? You feel well? Go and get you something? You want a glass of water? We're not really getting anywhere, are we, at the moment? Are you seeing something? Is there something you see over there? What do you see there, Johnny?
Yeah.
What's this about Mama? Is this your mother?
La.
What's the matter? Do you want Mama to come in? Don't breathe like that. It'll make you feel really strange. I'm with you. Nothing's going to happen to you. Just calm down now. Just try to relax. Try and keep calm. Don't tense up. Just relax. You're getting a bit stressed out at the moment. Would you mind if I gave you an injection or something like that to make you calm? Should we try doing that? It won't hurt you at all. Just like a little bee sting. And then you'll be calm.
What is that?
Oh, ya teman-teman. Tuh. Oke, saya dapat. Ini Raja Jin. Ya. Alhamdulillah, saya udah taklukkan.
How you doing, sir?
Can you tell us what went on at the Bilderberg meeting this year?
Sorry?
Can you tell us what went on at the Bilderberg meeting this year?
I didn't get that, actually, no.
The Bilderberg? You weren't there?
No.
Did you go on last year?
No, I wasn't there last year. I think that was my cousin.
Your cousin was there?
Yeah. Okay. Good night.
Do you have a quick answer Russia? You were this
I was definitely thinking inside because I was saying that the Federal Reserve is one of these organizations that, I don't know, it's one of these organizations that a lot of people say is the source of humane trafficking across the world because it's a private bank that was started by your family.
No, it's completely untrue. I was asked that earlier. But that isn't true.
That's what I heard. Is that right? 1913, sir? No. I mean, but sir, just one thing. We could go on about how your family committed all these acts against society, but we just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
we just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
fucking scam. So you wake up early in the morning to go to work to pay for a house that you're never at. And you pay for a car that primarily gets you from and to work, correct? The government takes anywhere from, let's say 30 to 50% of your wages. And then there's things like VAT, which is basically your money getting taxed that was already taxed. You save up your whole life for a pension, which at the end of the day, the government takes 40 to 50% of that. Then in your elder years, you're living off canned soup and fucking bread because that's all you can afford. And then you get your state pension, which you can't get until you're like 180 years old. And even with that, if you die before you get it, you can't even pass it down to your kids. The government takes it. We are all getting scammed so fucking bad. It's almost comical. People don't see this shit. How can you work 40 or 50 hours a week, especially nowadays, to pay for fucking nothing? So figure 200 hours a month, you give your life to a corporation. And then halfway through the month, you're struggling to get to payday. Sounds pretty fucking familiar, doesn't it? We're giving our lives away for nothing. It is a scam. We're losing more by going to work than staying our asses home. All a big scam.
Degree that a man goes through, or the women, if it's in the women's lodges, has a different curse on a different body part. So in the first degree, it's to have your throat cut from ear to ear, and there's an action that goes with it. Second degree is to have your left breast torn open and your heart ripped out. The third degree is to have your stomach cut open and everything burned. We actually call that a colostomy nowadays. You need to relay these conditions. Yeah. Okay? This is what a man looks like dressed for the first degree. He has a blindfold put on. 6-foot noose is around his neck so that he can be pulled back into line if he goes to make a dash for it. He has a dagger or whatever, something sharp pressed against his naked left breast, because that's to make sure he's not a woman.
rayos? ¿Qué carajos es eso? Coño, ¿es en serio? Chamo, qué loco. ¿En serio? ¿Qué carajo es eso?
See through your eyes.
No shit, really?
Yes, there was one time I went to a vending machine. There are slot numbers, and the voices inside my head actually say out aloud the slot numbers on the vending machine.
Really?
Yeah, they can see through your eyes. And
Okay.
the third capability is the government has the ability to hear through your ears.
Because of this neural monitoring technology.
Yeah, remote neural monitoring.
Okay. Well, this is some Stranger Things X-Files territory we're going into already. Right, and then is this condition still disturbing?
Elusive one, because you know he was on the verge of death with the pills, but he got saved. Was that somebody that like he's like a Kanye and Trump, like he's real elusive to you guys, or is he playing right into it?
Eminem, we still work with him very closely. He will be dropping an album very soon, by the way, where he's given us a sacrifice that he was able to get out of our grip. So a lot of the things he does when he sacrificed his best friend to us, and that was his escape. See, we can do that as well. If you want to get out of our grips, we could release you, and that was his way of, you know, offering someone to get out of his hold that we have on him. And, you know, thank you to Eminem.
The crazy part about that is that the video for Toy Soldiers was out, and it was Proof got shot in that video.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say it was like a pool hall or something very similar. And he was alive at the time. And then when the video, you know, I mean, then after that dropped, then some like months or a year later, that's when he, you know, passed, which is kind of crazy.
Correct. So so the world is like the Matrix. Do you remember in the Matrix when Neon would walk through? Neo.
Yeah, you good.
Neo could walk through the Matrix, and an agent could take possession of anyone he pleased to get to Neo.
Mm-hmm.
So with our power that we have power to take possession or become an agent of any and carry out anything that we would like to do to the Neos of the world. So with Eminem, they usher in, they promote, or they let us know what they're willing to do through their music videos. So with him putting Proof in that video to pass away, he showed us how he wanted us to do it, how that he was okay with making that offering, that sacrifice, and we carry it out. We're able to take possession and take hold of any individual and program certain situations for things to happen. So it looks natural.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.
Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in York County. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, entangled in their harnesses. And even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about, and the revitalization of Brevard County. Thank you for your time today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir.
Dark web reveals the truth. This video was posted anonymously on the dark web with this title. It shows real images of giants from ancient times, accompanied by a message. Here's the truth about giants. In ancient times, colossal creatures reigned as absolute masters, casting a shadow of terror over the land. These titanic giants were the living embodiment of fear and dread. Their footsteps resounded like cataclysmic thunder, causing the earth itself to tremble with every step. Their massive bodies, bristling with huge muscles, seemed sculpted from the darkest nightmares. Their eyes, gleaming with an unearthly glow, stared out at the world with an unhealthy gleam. Their shrill roars tore through the air, sending shivers through the hearts of the bravest. These ancient giants moved with deliberate slowness, as if aware of their own overwhelming superiority. The landscapes they traversed were marked by their passage, with uprooted trees and shaken mountains bearing witness to their devastating power.
Holy shit. Holy fuck. Get out! What the fuck?
Get out!
$100 sand off it. 25, 41, 45, 57, 94, 122, 159, 194, 213, 222, 242, 259, 271, 284, 286, 329, 333, 335, 383, and then 394, we max out. They knew if we go to 428, 532, 432, all these other ones that they knew we got there, they would know we'd be healing ourselves, and that's why they cut us off at 494. Well, it goes higher.
Video has been posted on the dark web under the title, The Exclusive Truth of the Dark Web. The name itself says a lot. What are we to understand with this video? And what are these strange things? The problem with dark web videos is that they are posted anonymously, so it's impossible to know more. But the end will reveal a terrible thing.
Dog, are you seeing this? Bro, my heart just sank. Dog, did you just see that? Dude, I got all of that.
People talk about how Elon Musk changed the Twitter name to X, right? So let's investigate a little bit. And this might blow your mind, it might not. Hidden in plain sight, let's get right at it. Let's look at this logo, right? So if we look at this logo, and all we're gonna do is mirror this logo side by side, right? And what we're gonna realize is it looks identical to the Freemasonry symbol, right? Is that really a coincidence? I already showed you the picture of Elon Musk dressing up with the Satan costume, right? And you already know he got this Neuralink that already got approved by the FDA. You already know he has, he already got funded, well, like just a couple days ago, $280 million for Neuralink. And this is part of this mark of the beast, right? Where it, you know, it's gonna go in your right hand or in your forehead. So this right here is a picture of Elon Musk at the 2018 Met Gala, right? And look on the back of his shirt. So this is the regular picture. If you zoom in on the shirt, you can't really see it. But whenever you zoom in, and I'm gonna mess with the exposure a little bit, you read that, right? That is exactly what's on the dollar bill. A new world, okay? A new world order. This is what this translates into Latin. And this right here is clear evidence right in your face, plain sight. You can't deny it. You can't deny it.
They want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times and said, wouldn't it make our lives easier if we just had some extraterrestrial threat? He said that shit. He said that in front of the UN.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
When people ask me, why would they fake space? It's always been about a fake alien attack. You can't have a fake alien attack without space. You know who promoted space more than anybody? Nazis.
Russians.
But before the Nazis, the Vatican. The most powerful telescope, the Vatican. And you know what name it is? Lucifer.
Lucifer's
What?
dick falls.
When people ask me, why would they fake all this shit? Isn't it weird that every space documentary are all CGI? There's nothing real. And everyone watches that, they believe it, the narration is all programming what's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to. Once you go flat, you never go back.
3 of the strangest mental disorders in the world. Part 3. Number 3. The Frigoli delusion is a rare neurological disorder where a person believes that different people they meet are actually the same person in disguise. Those with this disorder are deeply convinced that familiar people, often perceived as persecutors, are disguising themselves as others to deceive or monitor them. Number 2. Cotard's delusion, also known as the Walking Dead syndrome, is a disorder where the affected individual believes they are dead, lack a soul, or are decaying. In extreme cases, individuals may believe they don't exist at all. Number 1. Reduplicative paramnesia is a disorder where a person believes that a location or event has been duplicated, meaning it exists in 2 different places or times simultaneously. For example, a patient might believe that their hospital has been duplicated and that there are 2 identical versions of it in different locations.
Flat Earth theory is an admitted CIA psyop. It literally preys upon people that are susceptible to fanaticism, unfortunately. And it's really a divide and conquer technique to separate truth seekers from coming together. And they found a way to psychologically, literally attack people and get them to go in a slightly different direction and put everybody at odds. And it's really worked. There's a big image going around. It's viral on the internet. It's a picture of the Earth and it's flat. But what they've done is they've taken out of the entire 360-degree globe, they've taken about an inch of that globe and snapped it out and made it into an image. When you take that image and rotate it, it looks like it looks like the Earth is flat. 1 inch, 1 inch or 2 inches. Now, everything in images is made of pixels, including even our own bodies. The further down you go, the more pixelated things get. So if I take a very small piece of something, it's going to appear to be blocky or blotched or square or flat. When you look at the whole picture and see where this image literally fits right in where it came from, you realize it's a scam. You realize that it's paid, potentially paid propaganda that's been put out there, and now it's gone viral. It's so unfortunate because it's very easy to prove that the Earth is not flat. First of all, let's just go. Let's not talk too deep into science. Let's talk basics. Mm-hmm. You're standing on the shoreline. My height, I'm 6'4". Let's say you're about 6 feet tall. At 6 feet tall, you can see the Earth's curvature drop 8 inches or curve 8 inches every mile. So on a clear day, you can see approximately 3 miles out. Okay, 3 miles out, clear day from the shoreline. As ships come in, they appear to be rising from beyond the horizon point, and as ships leave out, they appear to be dropping below the horizon point. Now, if I go into a building or a ladder, if I have a ladder right there and I start climbing this ladder, for every meter that I go up, I'm going to see an extra almost just under a mile out. Mm-hmm. So if I go up, 1 meter, I'm going to see 4 miles. Go up another meter, I'm going to see 5 miles, so forth and so on. So as you go up, because as you go up, your perspective changes. So you're able to see further to the horizon point. However, you can never see the other side of the planet because the curvature is always there. You just have a better perspective to a certain point that you can climb up or go up into the tallest skyscraper. Other than that, the only thing you can do then is go up into the sky and go up into space where you can completely see the...
Who left their shadow, bro? Like, nobody's here. Nobody's here. Who left their shadow? Come get it. It's at Planet Fitness. If you want your shadow back, it's right there. Hold on, clear. It's like you can't see, bro. Oh, there it is.
What? What the?
Pero nomás se quiere brincar.
Teman-teman di sini. Astagfirullahaladzim ya Allah. Astagfirullahaladzim ya Allah.
Antum matamu. Astagfirullahaladzim.
Lu jam sekarang aja.
Has caught something quite terrifying in her granddaughter's room. Tori McKenzie is begging for help online after capturing what she describes as a demon standing over her grandchild's bed. Miss McKenzie set up a motion-activated camera at her son's house after complaints his 2-year-old daughter Amber was talking to something unseen in the middle of the night. The grandma checked her camera's app days later to find a bone-chilling image of a figure standing very close to her sleeping grandchildren, with what she described as it having a horn on its head and long claws. The creature is captured standing awkwardly, looking upwards just before 3 a.m. Miss McKenzie says when she tried to rid the house of the evil presence by burning oils, she claimed cabinets and curtains opened and closed and music began to play by itself.
The grandmother insists the discovery has left her fearing for her grandchildren's lives and that the photo is real and could not be photoshopped because she does not have the technical know-how.
We're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before, previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And so I think that dialogue has happened within, inside the government, in certain areas inside the government, that we need to prepare. And that's why in 2017, that set a clock of 10 years. And why Lou Elizondo earlier in this year said, just find a hobby for 5 years. And, it'll all be out in 5 years. And he said that this year. So that was 2027. And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity that I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening, and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people. And that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
In Denisova Cave, they find a single pinky bone from a little finger. They do the DNA testing on it, and what they discover is this is another human species, who they named the Denisovans. It's another example of a missing chapter in the human story. We were not alone. There were multiple other human species who were human enough to interbreed with us and leave DNA. They left behind certain physical objects which are extremely hard to explain. One of them is a green stone bracelet. A hole has been drilled through the bracelet, and from that hole it's been possible to reconstruct that a pendant was hung. Then the archaeologists started to take a look in detail at the drill marks, and what they discovered was a huge anomaly. That was drilled with a stable, fixed drill, and it was drilled at extremely high speed. This is thought to be 40 or 50,000 years old. There is not supposed to have been any such technology in that period that was capable of drilling with a stable, fixed drill, and yet there it is.
What's wrong, Margaret? I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could kill me, they could save me, they could free me and say I overdosed you with drugs. They can do a lot of things.
This is bullshit. That's a mask. That's a skin mask. It ain't normal. Look at it.
You can't believe anything you see these days. These glasses aren't even real. Neither is my face. All this stuff was 3D tracked on using these dots that I drew on with this marker. Actually, the marker isn't real either. Neither is the background. Or my face. Have a good night.
These guys are central casting. There's nobody in Hollywood that looks like these people.
Cardi B is exposing the Illuminati. She wants to get out of it. Listen to this.
Why I didn't want her to do this song, Shake It, or like any drill songs, because these songs are activating like these demons. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like, I just want to be.
If I told you SpongeBob was trying to keep our eyes open, what do you mean? There's this old episode of SpongeBob where Squidward ends up joining this club every night, and it's him in a Freemason's outfit, along with a bunch of other Freemasons. Shit. Look at this, bro. A bus drops him off in the middle of nowhere, and notice it's so weird that the place that he entered in is literally shaped like a pyramid, bro. And notice how there's eyes everywhere. Look at that. Eyes on top of the X. A literal secret society that like nobody notices, bro. And it's like, we don't notice this as a kid, right?
No.
But now looking back on it, when you like grow up and you realize that the Illuminati was a thing, and probably still is a thing.
Stanley Mayer was an American inventor who claimed to have developed a water fuel cell that could power a car using only water as fuel. Despite numerous demonstrations of his invention, Mayer's claims were met with skepticism and have never been independently verified. Mayer died under mysterious circumstances in 1998, and the truth behind his invention remains an unsolved mystery. His water fuel cell was based on the idea of splitting water into its component parts of hydrogen and oxygen using a process called electrolysis, but no independent verification of his technology was ever made, and his death was ruled as a result of a brain aneurysm, but some have claimed it was a murder.
Smart cities will pullulate with sensors, all joined together by the Internet of Things, and the urban environment is as antiseptic as a Zurich pharmacy. But this technology could also be used to keep every citizen under round-the-clock surveillance. A future Alexa will pretend to take orders, but this Alexa will be watching you, clucking her tongue and stamping her foot. In future, voice connectivity will be in every room and almost every object. Your mattress will monitor your nightmares, your fridge will beep for more cheese, your front door will sweep wide the moment you approach like some silent butler. Your smart meter will go hustling of its own accord for the cheapest electricity, and every one of them minutely transcribing your every habit in tiny electronic shorthand, stored not in their chips or in their innards, nowhere you can find it, but in some great cloud of data that lowers ever more oppressively over the human race. AI. What will it mean? Helpful robots washing and caring for an aging population, or pink-eyed terminators sent back from the future to cull the human race.
Surveillance precincts with so-called smart city programs being rolled out across the country. Invasive technology such as facial recognition cameras, license plate readers, smart lights, smart poles, smart cars, smart neighbourhoods, smart homes and smart appliances, all connected to wireless networks and communicating with each other. So what's wrong with that? Technology is good, isn't it? All this is for your safety, security and convenience, isn't it? Well, let me tell you, your streets are spying on you, your mobile phone is spying on you, your cities are spying on you, and the infrastructure for future is being put into place right now. Don't be fooled. You're being set up to be tracked through your movements and through the future of your digital wallets. By handing over your data, you're handing over the ability to monitor your behaviour, which will soon be turned into a social credit score. And once the central bank digital currencies are in place, you won't get to spend your money without approval. Digital ID will soon become a reality in Australia. Many other countries are already rolling these systems.
Hello? Oh my God! What the fuck is that?
this thing ain't stiff. Wow, he's gonna cause fire. You son of a bitch, what's going on here? Turn that fan on. Turn the stove off there. I can't believe that.
That exposes every conspiracy theory on the planet. Today, we will expose the truth on Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a well-known military operation that will occur in the near future. Its goal is to bring together all of humanity into a one-world system through the creation of an external threat to planet Earth. An alien invasion appears to be the perfect catalyst for uniting us as one. That may sound like a good thing, but that is exactly what they want. Just days ago, Congress held a committee hearing on UAPs. This strategic move desensitizes the masses and normalizes the idea of aliens. I mean, come on. Do you honestly believe that the government isn't already well informed about every single detail they discussed? They are pushing the narrative of aliens into our collective consciousness. And one of these days, we are going to look up and see giant holographic motherships flying through our skies. This, my friends, is Project Bluebeam, a means to establish the New World Order by creating an external threat using holograms.
You watch your TV, but with this hack, your TV can watch you. Show us how that works.
So one of the things that we were able to do with the Smart TV platform was actually abuse the browser to the extent that we could actually gain access to the camera that's built into the TV.
Right.
And so what we can prove here is that with a little bit of extra code, we can turn the camera on in your browser.
Wow.
And while this is evident to you right here because we've designed it that way, this is something that we can do invisibly and actually have the camera running behind the web page that you're looking at.
So what this means is I could be sitting here watching TV from my bedroom, and you could be anywhere in the world looking at this image of me watching.
Yep, I could be sitting on a laptop in a cafe in Paris, and as long as I have a network connection, I'd be able to get into your TV and access the camera.
The kind of scary things about it is that it doesn't actually give any indication that the camera's on, and there is no little LED that shows up when the camera's on. So it could actually be watching you and you never even know.
What is a smart TV, and why is it a playground essentially for hackers?
Right. It's a computer. So instead of just being, a tube and some other electronics, now it has a web browser and it has, a lot of devices are running Linux.
But the real danger is when people start using smart TVs for things like online banking, we can take a popular bank address and translate that into a different IP address to a site that directs to a site that we control. So it may look like your bank's login, but you're actually entering a username and password that goes to us instead of your bank.
In a statement to CNN Money, Samsung says it takes consumer privacy very seriously. The camera can be turned into the bezel of the TV so that the lens is covered or disabled by pushing the camera inside the bezel. The TV owner can also unplug the TV from the home network when the smart TV features are not in use. As an added precaution, we also recommend that customers use encrypted wireless access points.
Humans weren't meant to see how protein is made.
of the brainchilds of Freemasonry is communism. And communism, and we know that Freemasonry is diabolic from the top to the bottom. In fact, one demon even admitted to me that the name of every single level of Freemasonry is named after a particular demon. We also know at the very top levels it's actually Luciferian. It's not satanic. Satanic, it means that you actually worship Satan, but it's Luciferian, which means you become your own god. So we know that at the top it's Luciferian. But in the communism, one of the triumphs of communism, one of the ways that communism has spread its errors, as Our Lady said at Fatima, is that everybody thinks that the most important thing in an election is the economy. No, it's not. The most important thing in any election is the spiritual and moral welfare of the citizenry. That's the most important thing.
The story of The Conjuring is creepier than the movie. In January 1971, Carolyn, Roger, and their 5 daughters moved into a 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. When the home seller passed the key to the family, he advised them, leave the lights on. They had no idea why, but soon they found out. Some nights when the children slept, would a spirit tuck them in and even kiss their foreheads. The evil force only got worse with time. Almost every night would Cindy, the second youngest daughter, hear spirits tell her that there were 7 soldiers buried in the walls. The family looked into the old house history and discovered that the property had been in the same family for 8 generations, and many of them had died under unexplained or horrifying circumstances. Furthermore, a woman named Bathsheba Sherman lived on the Perrins property in the mid-1800s. She was rumored to have been a Satanist, and it was believed that it was Bathsheba's spirit that was tormenting them.
Your mind is waking up. You're trying to gather your surroundings. You open your eyes, your eyelids are heavy. You feel exhausted. What's that? You feel a tightness in your chest. You can't move your arms and legs. You begin to panic. Your head is full of a million thoughts. It's coming for you, the terrifying entity. No matter how hard you try to move, you can't. You're paralyzed with fear. It's painful and terrifying. The weight on your chest becomes heavier and heavier. You can feel your heart beating fast.
Time is running out.
You and the figure are face to face. You are experiencing an incubus hallucination.
You're never going to move out of your parents' house.
You guys, the conspiracy theories this week are conspiracy theorying. Oh my god. I'm obsessed with the conspiracy theories, and even these ones have me shook. And they're all about current pop stars, so that has me extra obsessed. The first conspiracy theory is that Hailey Bieber is trying to put Justin Bieber into a conservatorship. Was Selena right about her? But it's crazy because Hailey Bieber actually is taking over a lot of Justin's business manager role. So if that's true, why did she have him sign with Lou Taylor, aka the woman who put Britney Spears into her conservatorship? When you hear the behind the scenes of what Hailey's doing, it's insane. The second one is that Miley Cyrus is trapped in a cult called the Modern Mystery School, and she's been seen hanging out with the members. I saw someone tweet, it's so nice that Miley's new cult is letting her promote her new single. But I'm actually so scared for her, and you need to hear what this cult is doing. I put a poll attached to the latest episode and asked people who they're more afraid for after hearing both their conspiracy theories, and it's so close. Justin is winning right now, but as you can see, people are scared for them both. It's only a few votes apart. The last one is that Britney Spears' admittedly sexy husband, Sam Asghari, was a paid actor the whole entire time and their wedding was fake and Britney's dead. I cannot shut up about them, so I had to make a whole episode about these. But I put timestamps if you don't give a shit about half of the topics. You can skip to the conspiracy theories.
I went right to the absolute center of the skate park, thinking that he wasn't going to follow me in, and he continued to follow. Hey, do you mind if I sit with you guys? This guy's literally been following me in circles.
Yeah, that's cool.
For like 40 minutes, and I've been recording it.
Yeah,
and he's literally just standing behind me, and I don't know his issue.
Yeah, that's cool. Why don't you just pull up a seat?
But even when Jamie sits down, the stalker doesn't go away.
In the video, you can see he's either holding something or he's got fists in his pockets because his hands are in there and he's trying to pull his fists out, but having kind of a hard time.
This is terrifying. Had she not gone to a group of people, maybe we would not have seen her again.
The man lingers for a few minutes, but as more and more skaters turn to watch him, he finally leaves.
You can see him start to walk away, and then one of the girls who was skateboarding there tried to approach him, but he continued to walk away.
And where are they at?
Ceiling.
The ceiling? I don't see anything, Mom. I don't see anything. You see him? I don't see anything. Are they making you happy?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, that's good. How many?
Four.
Four? Four?
Pay attention. Top video. Genetically modified wheat. Okay, now she pouring water inside of the bowl. And she pouring water inside of that bowl. Now let's add the salt inside the water. Pay attention to how this looking like, moving like a serpent too. Just pay attention how it's moving real serpent. Now she dicing them up, get a little slice. Okay. Genetic modified one and the natural one. Now she putting them both in salt water. Pay attention to how the natural one moving. Now pay attention to how the GMO one moving. Ain't this one moving real serpent-like, huh? Do y'all see that? Now just imagine what this is doing inside of your body when you eat this. When you eat genetically modified food, this is what it's doing inside of your body.
Why we carve pumpkins on Halloween? According to Irish mythology, Stingy Jack was a clever but miserly man who loved to play tricks on people, including the devil himself. One day, Jack tricked the devil into climbing a tree to get an apple, and then he carved a cross into the tree's trunk, trapping the devil. Jack made a deal with the devil that he would let him down only if the devil promised never to claim his soul. The devil agreed, and Jack removed the cross. When Jack eventually died, he was denied entry to both heaven and hell due to his tricky and selfish ways. The devil, remembering his promise, sent Jack off into the night with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack placed the coal inside a hollowed-out turnip to create a lantern, and he has been roaming the earth ever since, known as Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern. People in Ireland and other countries started carving their own lanterns out of turnips or potatoes to ward off evil spirits on Halloween night. As the tradition spread, pumpkins became the preferred choice for carving, and that's how we now have the iconic jack-o'-lanterns we see today during Halloween.
If you get a phone call from your own number, do not answer the phone. This is crazy. Make sure you share this video because everyone needs to know this. If you're on your phone one day and you get a random phone call and it's your own number, do not answer it. This is a scammer's new way of hacking into your phone. Allegedly, if you answer the phone call, they can access all of your private information on your phone. Your photos, your bank details, text messages, videos, everything. Apparently they can see if you answer the phone. Now somehow they're managing to get your own number and then using that to call you. Now most people would answer the phone if they get a phone call from their own number because they want to know how this is even possible. But don't fall for it, because they're using your number to call you to try and spoof your device. And these hackers are doing this all over the world, and it's all over the news right now. So if you do get to see this happen, make sure you don't answer the phone and get help seriously fast.
Nih teman-teman, ayo join sama kita. Terus sampai belakang sana. Ini juga jualan. Yang lagi jualan. Ini ada yang jualan PlayStation ini. Ini ada yang lagi ngedance. Ini juga
langsung di-check-up, langsung di timer aja ya kakaknya. Untuk earning aku langsung ada di
jangan sedih, masih ada. Nih.
Listen to it. Listen to that pedaling. Jesus. I mean, this is my whole closet right here. It's my kitchen. And here we go with this shit again. We're just gonna wait and see how long it goes on. It's never not. Stop! Okay, that works. Okay, so it seems to be wanting to happen now more in the afternoon, but just to prove that there's nothing there. Jesus Christ.
I just got home and I see this like hole in my wall, and like next door I have a really creepy neighbor. Let's take a look. What the? Oh my god! Oh my.
Nie znam, to Oda tak warczy? Ja pierdzielę. No to tak. Pierdolę, ja dostaję kosmiczne się kurwa. Idź tam. Uważaj. Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś... Nie? Drut ma jakiś...
Terrified by Kamilka's strange behavior, the police are unable to go inside and save her. So, as a final attempt to get her out, they head outside and place a ladder against the side of the room where she hides. This, however, did not go as expected.
Chodź, misiu. Nie ma ta świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwa. Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, tu też cię widzę. To nie ciągaj się. Kamilka. Kamilka, dziecko cię woła. Kamilka. Wiktoria cię woła.
Deep within the heart of Irish folklore lies a tale of a unique creature, the Grogach. Originating from Scotland, the Grogach found its way to the lush landscapes of Northern Ireland. Today it's believed to reside in the hidden corners of caves and dense woodlands, particularly in the Kilsally and Knocklade Mountains. Picture a being half human, half fairy, covered in fur, with a distinct reddish complexion, often seen in tattered clothing that tells tales of its ancient lineage. But what sets the Grogach apart isn't just its appearance, it's the countless stories of its benevolence. A farmer from the 1950s recounted how a Grogach assisted him with his daily chores, lightening his burden. Another tale speaks of a woman on the brink of drowning, only to be saved by this mysterious creature. As with many legends, there are skeptics. Some argue the Grogach is but a myth, a figment of the imagination. Yet, the numerous accounts from both locals and tourists alike paint a different picture. A picture of a creature deeply woven into the fabric of Irish culture. The Grogach's tales have been whispered through the winds, passed down from generation to generation. From elderly locals sharing their personal encounters around a warm fireplace to intrigued tourists hoping for a glimpse during their travels. Whether myth or reality, the Grogach holds a special place in Irish folklore, a symbol of the rich tapestry of stories that make Ireland's cultural heritage so enchanting. So the next time you find yourself wandering through the Irish woodlands or exploring a secluded cave, keep an eye out, for you might just stumble upon the friendly spirit of Ireland, the Grogach.
Look at this. Don't ask me where I am. Don't ask me nothing. This is crazy. Wat is nou het mooiste? Mooi ook, je neemt mee, gek. Dat wil ik hebben.
Aswang. The aswang is a scary creature from Filipino stories. It can change its shape and likes to eat people. People in the Philippines talk about it a lot and are scared of it. They say it can turn into an animal and fly at night. Some stories say it can look like a regular person during the day. Aswang is the name for different kinds of bad creatures. They all do different things to scare and hurt people. People think Aswangs live more in the countryside and like to hurt pregnant women, babies, and small kids. The Aswang stories have been told for a long time and change a little bit in different parts of the Philippines. Even though the Aswang is really scary, it's also a part of Filipino stories and movies. It shows up in different ways and represents things that people are worried about. So the Aswang is not just scary, it's also important in Filipino culture.
UFOs they want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times at the UN, CFR.
But ain't nobody gonna believe this. Okay, say it again.
He ain't got no guts. I cleaned him out.
It's a bow fin.
He ain't got no head. It's in the sink.
But he's still alive.
And I am fighting him left and right to scale it.
There ain't no freaking way this is real.
Yeah, it's...
There ain't no... Do it again.
Okay, wait.
This can't be real. He ain't got no guts. He ain't got no head. The hell? I don't believe that.
You have to use it now. He's slippery.
Oh my God.
He ain't got no head.
Oh my God. Do it again.
Hold on to it, right?
No guts.
No guts. There ain't no guts in there. See? And then skinned him. And now I'm just pulling.
You should be ready to put in the pan.
And with no ID and no transportation, get from upstate New York to Northern California. It's more than 4,500 kilometers as the crow flies. But that is the mystery officials are trying to solve after a missing Toronto firefighter turned up in Sacramento 6 days after disappearing while skiing near Lake Placid.
That's the strange case of Danny Philippitis, the firefighter who was skiing in upstate New York, goes missing, and then 6 days later is found in Sacramento, California, still wearing his snow gear. I'll get more into his story towards the end of the video, but first to break down how this could happen, similar stories, and tying it together with missing people in national parks, and the theory that it's linked to portals. Now, whether these portals are created in the supernatural realm or in the scientific realm, that's what we'll look at first. First, in the supernatural realm, I want to bring up two Bible passages, and these talk about somebody being taken from the earth and as well as an opening to a realm that we currently don't see. So in 2 Corinthians 12:2, Paul says, I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I don't know, but God knows. And in Revelation chapter 9, we have the angel in the last days comes from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit, opens this pit, and then great smoke comes out of it, as well as entities that were trapped inside of it.
Have you ever seen that video where it shows it's local news people all saying the exact same thing? Yeah, that's it.
Unfortunately, some members of the media
Some members of the media
use their platforms
to push their own personal bias.
to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is scary.
Yeah.
This is the scariest.
Well, that's propaganda.
I've used in this video an illegal mind-reading trick that was banned in 1958. It's called subliminal advertising, and it was first seen in the mid-90s to promote Coca-Cola in movie theaters. As the movie played, a text message that said drink Coca-Cola would be shown on screen for 1 frame, and while this isn't long enough for it to be noticed, the message would be imprinted subconsciously on the audience's brain, resulting in the product being on their mind throughout the film. Very sneaky. Now, I've hidden a subliminal message in this video, so let me know in the comments what you're thinking right now.
You know there was an electric moving sidewalk 123 years ago at the World's Fair in Paris, stretching 543 acres along the Seine River. The grounds of the 1900 Exposition Universelle were the biggest in history. And just like all the other World's Fairs, almost everything was destroyed afterwards, including this incredible electric moving sidewalk. It was elevated above the street on a 23-foot tall iron viaduct and consisted of 3 sections. One was stationary while the other ones moved continuously at 3 miles per hour and 6 miles per hour. The 2.5-mile loop was constructed around the perimeter of the central square. Using the 6 miles per hour walkway allowed visitors to circumnavigate the square in roughly 25 minutes, all while standing still and sightseeing. The predecessor of this walkway was at an earlier Chicago World's Fair. Along the same route but moving in the opposite direction was an elevated railway system that visitors could use to get around more quickly. However, the electric walkway could accommodate up to 14,000 people at one time. On its busiest day, it carried 70,000 people in one afternoon. The gigantic scale of the exposition made it virtually impossible to see everything, which is why the Rue de l'Avenir was so popular. It was both convenient and entertaining. One visitor described it as a giant wooden snake with its tail in its mouth. At Ouroboros of Paris, we're told that this structure was only temporary, but it had iron foundations just like the Eiffel Tower, and many other masterpieces of architecture that were destroyed. Even the Eiffel Tower was supposed to be demolished. Most of these things would probably still be standing today, and would be iconic landmarks like the Eiffel Tower turned out to be. These events are the plot holes of history. You really have to ask yourself, why would they destroy such amazing things? And why is it the same story all over the world?